In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
What? With these hot topics, I got my co-host already up here because he knows this is a hot topic. He's ready. We ready. We locked and loaded because, ladies and gentlemen, this is a channel where we embrace the truth. We have the uncomfortable, thought-provoking, and messy conversations. Why? Because they're necessary. We're not gonna go ahead and start sweeping shit underneath the rug. This is why so many of us are lost. So many relationships are fucked up because people just don't want to talk about shit. They want to make pretend that they don't see the pink elephant in the room. And his ass is right there sitting eating peanuts, watching us look stupid. Okay? So with that being said, let me go ahead and bring up my co-host, Gary D. And you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm streaming on Facebook for the first time, guys, so work with me. Let's see how that goes. Anybody on Facebook, go ahead and jump on YouTube. You know, that's really my main platform. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and you guys support the channel. Drop that Cash App. If you guys don't realize just how much work it takes for me and Gary to put in, to bring out good content, good conversation, it takes a lot of time, energy, and effort. I mean, I got some of my embracers hit me up talking about I need to go 3 times a week. They can't get enough of us, Gary. They want it 3 times a week, and I'm gonna give it to y'all 3 times a week. But y'all gotta give love and show love and reciprocate because this shit ain't easy. I do it because I want to do it, but I want to get better at it. I want to get better equipment. I want to get a better microphone. So, and you know, everybody knows that takes money. So we do take donations. The Cash App is right there. Hashtag Embrace the Grace 23. So anything would be appreciated. And do not forget to press the like button on your way in. That's like you dropping your keys on the side and coming in and taking your shoes off, because you're definitely gonna like what you're gonna hear and see tonight. And shout out to Lapeef Network. I got this clip and this idea from this show. I mean, I've always wanted to talk about this, but you're gonna understand why I had to use this clip because it really put it out there. So Gary, without further ado, this is my co-host, Gary D. He's gonna introduce himself and he's gonna tell you guys where you can find him. So anybody that embraces me has to embrace my peoples, and Gary D is definitely my people. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Gary.
What's up, everyone? This is Gary D. You know, I'm the co-host here on Embrace the Grace. So y'all could definitely find me with Boardwalk Global Media. We do a couple of different podcasts a week. The primary podcast I do is The Real Discussion, which comes on Friday nights from 8 p.m. Eastern Time to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. However, we're on a 2-month hiatus now. So I know that there's been a lot of people hit me up and my business partner up and stuff like that. We're on a 2-month hiatus, but we'll be back in midsummer with all new shows, everything like that. You could find us on Facebook under The Real Discussion or Boardwalk Global Media. You can find us on Instagram, The Real Discussion or Boardwalk Global Media. You can find us on YouTube on our Boardwalk Global Media page. And I think that's about it. I just want to thank Grace for continually having me every week, because we're having the very real conversations that need to be had, right? And I think it's important that people hear these real conversations. And look, we're not experts, but we deal in life, right? We share our daily experiences, our life experiences. our relationship experiences, right? So, and you'll be surprised to see what we have in common, right? So, on that note, let me just turn it back over to Grace.
Thank you. And there goes my other Grace. Hey sis, how you doing, sweetheart? Thank you for coming. Thank you for tuning in. This is gonna be a good one because it's gonna, I got a new word in what we talk about, Gary. We talk about the messy conversations too. They can get messy sometimes, and that's okay because we're gonna be here to clean it up. So what's tonight's topic about? This was for the ladies. Even though I advocate for men, but I am advocating for men tonight because you ladies, I'm really hoping that you listen, you watch, you learn, and you embrace what we're going to talk about tonight, because I talk to a lot of gentlemen. I gather info and intel. I don't just sit here, guys, and talk my shit. Well, sometimes. But the fact remains is that I'm listening to the men. I'm trying to bring out this message to y'all so y'all can learn, because y'all not listening to the men. Y'all think you know men. Y'all think you know how to love men because you want to love men the way you want to be loved. And we're two totally different creatures. We're two totally different genders. And what we as women perceive as love, men don't perceive as love. So we need to learn. And shout out to my black men, because this is my target audience, because that's all I've ever dated in my life. That's all I know. I married a black man. My son is black. So yeah, I'm talking to the black man. And what's the next best thing to a black man? Is the black woman. So sometimes when I have these conversations, instead of absorbing the message, Gary, they want to shoot the messenger. Oh, yeah. You're not black enough to talk about these issues. You're a pick-me. You're a ninja lover. Instead of embracing the conversation and absorbing the message, you want to insult, shame, make me feel guilty, and want to feel the need to be right. And it ain't about that. It's about becoming better versions of ourselves. Because obviously the shit ain't working. There's too many of us single out there. There's too many of us buying a dog and going to die alone. And like the beloved Kevin Samuels, he said a lot of truthful shit. A lot of us women in our 40s are hitting a brick wall and realizing that we made a lot of fucked up choices in our younger days, and now we want the next man to come and clean up our messes, and it don't work like that. Now I know it's too late for y'all old heads. Women, y'all hard-headed, stubborn, that don't want to change, that think y'all know it all, that think y'all the best next thing next to sliced bread because y'all got a vagina between your legs and you think you all of that. But that's why you're still single. That's why you're home alone. That's why you ain't got a man. I'm trying to reach the young girls, the ones that are coming up, the ones that are not going to waste their prime years on partying and dating the bad boys and having 3-4 kids from 3 different men, and then expect a good guy like Gary to come and clean up y'all fucking messes. Nah, that's not going to happen. That shouldn't happen. And the way these YouTube streets are going right now, these men are getting their eyes open. They're learning. They're watching. They're changing their ways. So it's either y'all learn and become better, or y'all get left behind. I can't save everybody. I can't get everybody to embrace me. I need to have the ones that want to be embraced. So again, let's go back to what we're talking about today. We're talking about black men and vulnerability. We want our men to open up to us. We want our men to tell us their problems and express their thoughts and their feelings. Yeah, right. Do we set the mood, the ambiance? Do we set a safe place for our men to be able to open up? Or do we brush them off? Or do we dismiss it? Or do we tell them, suck it up? Oh, it ain't that bad. Oh, get over it. Cry a river and build me a bridge. Now, God forbid if your man came at you like that. Y'all, sometimes I think y'all don't even realize how you are, or how selfish and self-entitled that we act sometimes. And I'm gonna put myself in that because I used to be like that when I was younger. But the only difference that I can say is that, one, I've taken accountability. Two, I've acknowledged my mistakes. And three, I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress. I'm not perfect. And like Gary said, we got to put a disclaimer out there. We're not professional therapists. We're not psychiatrists, but we are experts in life. The things that I've been through, the things that Gary been through, the things that we both have seen our friends and family go through. And we take it all in and we bring it to you guys to try to have better relationships, a better mindset, better thought process. So with that being said, I was YouTubing and, YouTube surfing. And a lot of the times I have a lot of topics, Gary, that I already want to talk about. But I don't want to get the pushback. So when I find somebody that actually says what I'm trying to say, and the message that I'm trying to bring to y'all Black sisters, because again, y'all need to realize, and if you don't want to believe it or not, a man's first choice is the Black woman. It really is. Shit, they mama was Black. But the way y'all women are acting right now, with all this combativeness shit, argumentative shit, self-entitlement, selfish, then y'all want to get mad when they want to go date a Latina and a white girl. Talking about that we're weak and that we'll put up with their shit because y'all won't. No, they're fucking tired of y'all. And I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not holding back tonight. Yeah. I'm always trying to walk around eggshells and trying to consider somebody's feelings. Well, who the fuck considers my feelings? Okay? All the times I get eyes rolled at me when I'm walking down the mall with a Black man, or we're going out to dinner, the disrespect, the blatant disrespect. You mad? You mad because he out with me? What you should be is be mad at yourselves. What you should do is look in the mirror and see what's going on with y'all first. And why a Black man is not looking at y'all. Maybe y'all stop fucking smiling a little bit more and stop being so goddamn angry all the time. And I don't want to hear all this bullshit. Y'all been traumatized. Y'all been through all this shit. We've all been through shit. Maybe not at the same levels as everybody has, but we've all been through shit. And how long are we going to carry that excuse? Oh, we've been traumatized, slavery. We've been through so much shit. We all been through shit. But when are we going to become better? So with that being said, I had to let it out. I had to let it out. Okay, so Grace got some comments. She said, it is the place of a woman to fill younger generation of women with wisdom, regardless of race. Speak truth boldly and courageously, sis. Even if it's just one who hears, speak. Absolutely, Grace, and that's why I'm doing it. If I could change the mindset of one young lady and one young man, then I did my job. I did my job. And then she came back and said, I'm an expert at bad choices and bad behavior. So let's speak accountability and change.
So it's, I mean, what we're dealing with here, and I think what a lot of the hard reality of the situation, and I think some people don't understand or grasp how deep the rabbit hole goes, so to speak, when it comes to Black men and Black men's options, right? It's very important for a Black man to, when he has his lady, and if he is able to open up to her and be vulnerable, like that's something major. That's something very major, because as a Black man, we have to go out there and fight the world, right?
Are y'all listening, ladies?
Right, and then come home and have to fight with you too. And I've seen my friends go through that. I've seen that. Like multiple friends of mine and family have gone through that. And I'm not living like that, right? And I think where we're at in this day and age now, Black men have options, right? Black men go to white women, Latina women, Asian women, Middle Eastern women. You know, some people are very uncomfortable about this. Now you got trans women coming and take your men also, right? So like, and that's some real shit. Like that's some real shit. So now for black women, they want to have, you know, some they don't want to take responsibility. Some they, as my grandmother would say, want to be wrong and strong, right? You know, and some don't care. But see, you can't, you know, here is the thing. Some of them think that this is some, I don't know, plan by black men all over the place. But I mean, if you go to black men on the East Coast, the West Coast, South, North, you know, overseas, it's all the same. They're going to say the same thing. So it's not like some conspiracy thing here, right? You know, when a black man comes home from a hard day's work, he doesn't want to come home to an art. Now, let me rephrase that. When a good black man comes home from work, a hard day's work, he doesn't want to come home from an argument and fighting. Or even when he's working during the day, he doesn't want to have to answer a call and she wants to argue, right? Because there's a lot of y'all that do that shit, right? In the middle of his working day, you want to call and fucking argue, right? And y'all think that's okay. So I say all of this to say that your men are being taken and you don't even understand.
Wait, Gary, I gotta change that. They're not being taken. They're giving.
Okay, all right. So, and now in the age of social media with Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, you see the videos that's coming, these podcasts that's coming on, where men are like, yo, we're not even taking it anymore, right? We're not even fucking with y'all like that anymore. Some dudes is not even having sex anymore. Like, so that's the reality of it, right? But at the same time, as I was saying earlier, black men have options, right? We have options now. And we've been shown by other women that they want to be there for us, be our safe space, you know, and some of them fight more for us than you do. Like that's a reality, right?
But then you know, that's when the name calling comes in and the shame and the guilt trip. I'm a pick me, I'm a ninja lover, I'm weak, I put up with this shit. Nah. Here's the thing. The misconception with a lot of them is that they think that arguing and fighting is being strong, right? That's the very good. They like to say, oh, and you know, they shut the fuck up, Gary, is being strong too.
Right. They like saying, oh, well, you can't handle a strong black woman. Define that, because it's not yelling and screaming. It's what you mean to tell me a strong black woman is yelling and insulting your partner in front of everybody? You call that strong?
No, we call that toxic.
Come on, right? But this is they're accustomed. Oh man, let me just touch on this for a quick second.
I knew.
Wait, no. So I came across two videos, which is quite interesting, right? And the women in both of these videos, they basically said, like, they had the right man, God-fearing, job, you know, everything good, right? No complaints. They were like, but there was something missing. I'm like, you know what's missing? Toxicity, because you're fucking used to being toxic. That's what's missing. You understand my point?
Absolutely. They're used to the chaos and the arguments.
This is my point. Right, so that becomes normal, right? They do it so much, the toxicity and chaos becomes normal behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm done now.
Okay, I get it. Hey, I get it. I know. I need you to get it out. You know, and ladies, let me tell you something. This is another disclaimer. This doesn't go for all my black queens. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Okay? Let's stop being so fucking sensitive and let's take in the message. Because if it's not you, I'm sure it's one of your homegirls, your aunties, your mom, your grandma, big mama. It's somewhere, okay? And I want to see. Come on, man. I have a black son. Why is it that at 13 years old he already made the decision that he doesn't want to date black women? And it's not just him. It's a lot of men that say that. A lot of young boys. Oh, I don't like black women. I don't like, they're loud, they're ratchet. I don't like the weave. I don't like the bonnets. It's not cute, ladies. Y'all didn't listen to Kevin Samuels. You thought he was gay. And you thought somebody hurt him. You thought his mama dropped him or something. Okay. You didn't like Andrew Tate. And now you're not gonna like me because I'm not black enough. But you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this for the ones that have the attitude. I'm doing these for the ones that want to embrace this and become better wives and mothers and girlfriends and women. Just like I put that video out on Saturday about, I want to see the same fucking energy y'all got for Mother's Day yesterday for Father's Day. And your fathers, hit me up and show me some of the gifts that these women gave you. I want to see if people are embracing what I'm trying to put out there. So don't shoot the messenger. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. And if something irks you or annoys you, then we must have touched a nerve. So you go ahead and you grab one of these and you look at yourself and you see, because everybody can improve on something. Nobody's perfect. And Grace said, it's not about race, it's about peace. Men are going to where they are given peace, and it just happens to be a different race that provides peace, ladies.
Well,
hey, again, and I'm going to keep repeating this all night so y'all stop getting out your feelings, okay? The first choice of a black man is a black woman. But if it's not suitable for them, they are no longer settling for y'all fuck asses.
Yeah, but now in this, this day and age, like that, with a lot of young black boys, black women are not even a choice now. You understand? Like, that's a reality.
That's crazy.
Right? So I've seen that. So they want to have the attitudes and have the toxic behavior and still want dudes to put up with that. Now, granted, there are some dudes that will put up with that, but no good, decent black man is going to tolerate that shit. Especially if he got something good going on, he's not going to tolerate that.
Even the Pookies and the Ray Rays who are watching YouTube and learning from other men and listening, they getting an eye opening and they're changing their ways too. So when are you ladies going to catch up? When you gonna stop being the mustard and try to catch up? Because you know what? Y'all gonna die. Y'all gonna buy a dog and die alone, and winter is gonna come for y'all, and y'all gonna find yourselves lost in the motherfucking sauce. And I know not a lot of my embracers ain't never seen me like this, but this is a hot topic for me because I am tired of y'all black women rolling your eyes at me, talking shit behind my back because they decided to choose to date me over you. I could tell you stories, Gary, about the bullshit that I've had to endure from black women.
I get it.
You're cute with your light skin and your long hair, and they used to jump me in school.
Well, I mean, listen, they just get mad and upset. And I think, and your friend Grace said it. She said one of the key words that she said is a black man wants peace. So if he can find peace in that particular woman, that's where he's going to be. And some of these black women, they're not bringing peace. They're bringing toxicity. They're bringing chaos. So again, after coming home from a day's work, he's going to come home to argue and fight with you in chaos after them arguing and fighting with everybody else out there.
And then they get mad because they go to their mama house, and rather than come home, they get mad because they go to the homie's house, or they go to the bar and go drink. Why? Because they don't want to come home, y'all.
They don't want to come home, right? They don't want to come.
And look, y'all hearing it straight from a black man's mouth. And I'm about to put it on y'all because I got another black man. Again, shout out to the Lapeef Network and my boy Hank, because he's going to put it down for y'all. If y'all don't want to hear it from me, and you don't want to hear it from Gary, y'all going to hear it from this gentleman. It's about a 7-8 minute video, but y'all going to hear this shit because y'all need to hear it. And y'all need to understand that this is how men are feeling. They're trying to tell y'all black queens how to act and what they want from y'all. And y'all still think y'all know better how to love a black man, and when the black man is telling you how they want to be loved. So give me a minute. It should be set up. Because we're gonna hear this whole goddamn video. It's coming, guys. It's coming, and it's a good one. This is what prompted me to do this show. Oh, hold on. How about if I press play? That would be nice.
Always want us to be vulnerable with you, right? You always want us to talk and share how we feel and what's going on with us. But if you don't open up a space where a man could be vulnerable, why would a man even want to have that conversation with you? Well, you're not showing a loving, caring, and nurturing a space for him to share with you. But let me tell you who you will open that space up. Mr. Charlie, that white man at work that you call supervisor, boss, or manager. You open up a safe space for his white ass. Your husband,
Right.
your man, your significant other, the guy that gives you the butterfly, that's got that connection that makes you tingle. He's throwing 10 inches of lip dick off in your face and giving you what you're looking for. You don't hear nothing he got to say. I can agree with that, but the thing about the communication part is it's got to be both ways. It's got to, these ladies with this one-way street Clap was talking about, man. It can't be the man's always being lectured to, because he's just sitting back listening, and then when he try to start to have the conversation, you'll start talking over him, or you cut him off, or do you disagree with what he's saying, and you want to try to prove you're right. Yeah, that's not helping the communication. Again, ladies, we got to communicate. It means it's both of us talking back and forth, listening as well as talking. But when it's just somebody just sitting there listening, now you're treating that man like a child and you just lecturing him. And that's not cool. So yeah, it's got to be definitely a healthy communication. Takes two ways to do it. So we got to be open to do that. Hopefully you ladies are open to have good dialogue with us.
Yeah, I think Hank made a good point, because sometimes women do got to be open to receiving whatever feedback or whatever dialogue is coming from that man. I think you got to be able to receive it to make the conversation fair. I've seen it, and I'm not speaking to all, I've seen the situations where the minute that someone says something that they don't agree with, then they're quick to just tune out on turn that, or some people don't respond to that. That comes off as like disrespect a particular man at times. I mean, I don't see no men saying, he's doing all that stuff like that. I see men grab their head and be like trying to brace themselves or something like that. And it could come off as being disrespectful. But I mean, sometimes men don't want to deal with that BS. They don't want to hear that BS. So if they grab their head, I think that is excusable. But when you start just doing all the body motions and checking out, men look at that as being disrespectful. So I think you have to be willing to hear that man. Sometimes when a man ain't heard, that's how you go start talking to other people, because you're not listening to him. You're not hearing. He's trying to tell you what he likes, because I thought the goal was to build a relationship. So you have to really hear what the man like. I'm only speaking about the man because of the subject, right? But men love to voice their opinions and thoughts and things, and you have to be willing to open up and listen. Sometimes it may be helpful. Go ahead, brother.
Listen to this, ladies. Thing is, here it goes.
You ladies always want us to, right? You always want us to talk and share how we feel and what's going on with us. But if you don't open up a space where a man could be vulnerable, why would a man even want to have that conversation with you? where you're not showing a loving, caring, and nurturing a space for him to share with you. But let me tell you who you will open that space up, Mr. Charlie, that white man at work that you call supervisor, boss, or manager. You open up a safe space for his white ass.
Mr. Cartwright.
Your man, the guy that gives you the butterfly, that's got that connection that makes you tingle. He's throwing 10 inches of lip dick off in your face and giving you what you're looking for. You don't hear nothing he got to say. You don't hear nothing I got to say. I'm telling you, man, I went through a traumatic thing in my childhood. I'm sharing that with you, but you like, it's not that bad. I mean, it was a long time ago. Heifer, I need you to be here for me. I don't need to hear it was a long time ago. What if I came to you like that? You talk about a time when your mother verbally abused you and told you you wasn't shit. And I said, the girl's a long time ago. Why you still hold on to them feelings? No, you look at me like I'm crazy. You're going to say, oh, you're so selfish. You're so insensitive. You're just so heartless. No, that's not cool. So yourself available for your man, for your husband. So when he wants to share something vulnerable, that's a part of that communication. Because let me tell you what's going to happen. Like J.I. said, if not, he's gonna go to Nancy at the office.
Not
and
Nancy.
He's gonna unload it on her at the break table. Mayonnaise sandwich, you probably made it. And then he gonna look it down that sandwich, think about your feelings I'm having right now with you. I got to share with this woman across from me who is not blessed with my last name. And some of them don't even look like us. Then y'all gonna have ill feelings if you find out you got a work wife. Oh, now they going to lunch out the office. And they continue to having these vulnerable conversations to the point she's ready to do whatever you're not doing.
What? Exactly. They don't understand that shit.
Of giving that man that good loving. 2 or 3 days you only willing to give. She's willing to give you 4+.
Exactly.
Y'all gonna have some type of feeling. Now y'all gonna have something to say. Y'all be ready to communicate then, but it's too late. He done already mentally checked out on you, and is not looking to get back in there because Nancy's doing everything he needs her to do.
That's a good illustration, Hank. And
straight facts.
Straight facts. Just so you know, a safe space. I know. I appreciate the transparency, Hank, for opening up there. You know, sometimes I know men may feel like they not heard, but this is a safe space. So, Clout, when you do get the opportunity to speak, just go ahead and just let it out, let it loose, brother. You ain't got to worry about it.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I would definitely what Hank was saying, and I definitely agree with that. You know, when you don't communicate, the devil narrates. But I do think that communication is like one aspect of it, and I think that you got to couple that with like comprehension. You have to couple that with like acknowledgement, because you know you can communicate with someone and y'all can be communicating back and forth as much as you want, but if that person does not comprehend what you said and they can't acknowledge it and like essentially like say it back to you, you're gonna have a lot of difficulty really connecting, and those words aren't gonna make.
We're talking about connection again. Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all see how I do that? I'm a master creator too. You know, I kind of like the topics in together, man. I give myself my own flowers. Go ahead, Big Clout.
Yeah, that's all I was saying. I was saying like comprehension is extremely important. Acknowledgement is extremely important. You know, if you're communicating with someone and they say something to you, if you can't like take in what they said, whirl it around in your mind and understand it and be able to, oh, so you're saying this. Okay, I can acknowledge that you said that. Oh, so you feel like this. Like without that component of comprehension and acknowledgement, it's just words bouncing off each other. It's just me communicating with you, you communicating with me, but no one's receiving any of the communication.
All right, I got it. Ladies, the men have expressed themselves. They don't poison the space right now. You know, it's open right now. The men are being vulnerable on the panel.
Okay. So with that being said, I want to give a big shout out to the Lapeef Network. They always have some good conversations up there. But I especially want to give a shout out to. There was no sound with what? When?
After you ended the video and you started talking, there was no sound.
Okay, I'm gonna repeat it, boss. I saw it.
Okay.
I was on mute. So I actually have a show tomorrow with Hank from the Basement. I'm gonna interview him. Y'all ladies say y'all want an alpha male, but that's a true alpha male, and I'm gonna nitpick his brain so y'all could really see what an alpha male is and his thought process. So make sure y'all check me out tomorrow night, because I got to give my embracers what they want. They said I got to drop 3 days a week. I'm dropping 3 days a week. So he's agreed to be interviewed, because a lot of y'all women say y'all want a strong black man, y'all want a protector and a provider, and when you finally get one, y'all don't know how to act. So I had to come in with this show and then go out with that show tomorrow. And then next Monday, Gary, we're going to talk about the different types of alpha males and beta males, because we need to be educated in that. Because like you said in our conversation yesterday, a lot of women want a certain type of man, but they end up dating a totally different type of man that they want. And why is that? So, but with that being said, Gary, what did you think about what Hank said about the vulnerability?
I mean, he said a lot of. Listen, he said, what I found interesting is to see how some of the women, they just tuned out, and I'm like, see, that's the problem right there, right? But when he was talking about the work wife in the office, that is so true. That is so true, because the work wife, she knows obviously what his business is. So she makes sure that all that stuff is in order. She doesn't want to mess up. She doesn't want him to mess up anything at work, because then she's going to be out of a job or something like that. So now if she sees him feeling down or upset, she's going to naturally be the shoulder that he's going to talk to, because look, he's with her 7 hours a day, eight hours a day,
5 days a week,
5 days a week,
sometimes overtime.
Right. Exactly. So when your lady is acting up at home or not doing right at home, don't get mad when Nancy or Sarah or Betty or Lori or what have you is
my 3 Kims, Lizette, Julie.
Right, exactly, right? So Becky, right? So don't get mad when they offer him a safe space, right? Oh, let's go out after work and just have a drink and you can talk or what have you. Like, that's how the shit start. Like, and so again, it goes back to peace. If his lady is not giving him peace, then it's
I have to say this too, because at the end of the day, I'm a woman too. And I know there's a lot of men out there that ain't shit. So, and I recognize that. And to my lady embracers, look, the most people that have hurt me have been black men. But I'm not going to turn around and go hurt them. That's not me. You know what I'm saying? You live and you learn. A lot of the times it was self-inflicted. A lot of the times I fucked up.
Well, look, I like to say that, even in this conversation, what we're talking about is good, respectable black men, good, responsible black
We're not
men.
talking about the Pookies and the
Right.
Ray-Rays.
Go
ahead.
I kind of like to say, like, black men are like chocolate, right? You got the top of the line, which is the Godiva chocolate, right? Right. You got the next one, which is, what is that? The Giraldi chocolate. Then after that, you got the Hershey's. Then you got the no frills bland supermarket chocolate. And a lot of y'all got this bland supermarket chocolate.
And then have the audacity to still treat him like shit.
I'm just saying, right?
I mean,
So
come on, ladies.
It's the type of man that they choose. Like, look at the man that they choose. Like, you can't. So, and no responsible black man in his right mind is going to tolerate shit. Trust me, he's not. He may give you an opportunity, but trust me, once he tunes out, that's it.
Or you're just going to be smash and dash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's not going to take you seriously. He's not going to commit to you. He's not going to want to wife you up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I talked to one guy and he said to me, if they could just smile more. I mean, we're all going through shit. We all went through shit. Why do you have to walk around so angry all the time? Be angry at home, ladies. But when you come out, look your best. Smile.
Yes,
They get you when they open the door for you.
You see, some don't feel like they need to do that. They don't.
Well, you know what? Then don't get mad when they see me sitting with a hot, sexy chocolate man at dinner or having a drink, because you know what? And then you have the audacity, Gary, because you know you're a sellout. You know what I'm saying? If you're not dating a black woman, you're a sellout. You're Uncle Tom. You're all the names in the book, right? But God forbid it.
Any confident, secure black man, I promise you, he wants to have a pretty lady on his side. A lady that's, the feminine energy, the pretty hair, the nails, the heels, all of that. Because that's an extension of his ego and who he is, right? So, and for those other women that don't feel like they need to do that, then stay there, right? Because the women that do that, look at who they're going to wind up with. Look at who they're going to get. Look at the attention of the person that they're going to wind up with. So again, you can't be wrong and strong at the same time. They don't feel like they need to do that, then stay there, right? Because the women that do that, look at who they're going to wind up with.
YouTube on your computer, honey.
I don't want the attention. The person that they're going to wind up with. Okay.
Yeah, she's got to turn it off. Okay, she'll come back. You know how it is with my baby Cynthia.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I have a black queen on my panel so we can hear her too. Because I don't want to just be the only one. See, if I was bashing black men right now, this fucking live would be lit.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Women all up on the panel, burning men up. But because now I'm turning the mirror on y'all ladies, it's crickets out there. I may even lose some subscribers, Gary. But you know what? I don't care.
Hey, listen, in my experience, I'll tell you my experience. My experience coming up, I wasn't, because I didn't have the jewelry, the car, the money, they wasn't trying to hear me. But once my life started, then once things started to turn around, then all of a sudden I became okay. But the other women, they were there. Like the white women I dealt with, the Latin women that I dealt with, they were there when I didn't have anything. You follow me? They didn't turn their nose up at me, at least the ones that I met, right? So
you're absolutely right, Gary, because I've heard a lot of black men say, I want to date black women, but they don't want me. They don't look my way. They want a ready-made six-figure man. How the fuck y'all ladies want a six-figure man when you only making $19,000 a year?
See, and it would be if you had the mind state to want to build, because I'm all for let's build something, right? Let's build something. They already want
to. It's so much sweeter when you're building together.
I agree. I totally agree. But that's not what they want. They already want the guy that's in his 6 or 7 figures, so they don't got to do anything, right?
And Gary, what kills me is you want the 6 or 7 figure man, and you think you could get him because you got the fat ass and the big titties and everything. But then on top of that, you don't want to cook, you don't want to clean, you don't want to give the man peace. You don't want to suck dick. You don't want to do anything. but you want a 6-7 figure man. And I'm telling y'all, tonight we're keeping it real, embracing this shit. Y'all, you know, I want my ladies to really hear this and learn and embrace this shit, because I want y'all black women to be with y'all black men. Trust me, because that's how it's supposed to be. Why is it that, like Kevin Samuels used to say, the white woman belongs to the white man, the Spanish man belongs to the Spanish woman, the Asian woman belongs to the Asian man? Why can't the black woman to the black man? Why is that? It's my fault? Oh, okay, it's Becky's fault. Oh wait, no, it's Lung Jing's fault. But no, but y'all don't want to see how it's y'all fault. And tonight we keeping it real. Let me see if Miss Cynthia got it together. Let me see. Hi, Miss Cynthia, can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm so glad you came on the panel, because I really want to hear from a black queen how they feel about this. I mean, even though you're a little bit older, but you've seen a lot and you've been through a lot. How do you feel? What have you heard so far from the show? Have you been here since the beginning, or you just chimed in?
I just chimed in, so I haven't heard anything.
Okay, so what we're talking about is...
I just chimed in.
Okay, so what we're talking about, Miss Cynthia, before we even start, I need you to introduce yourself and tell people where we can find you.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Cynthia Bell. I'm the owner of Cynthia Wellness Products. I'm a playwright and author. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Cynthia Writes One, Facebook, Cynthia Wellness Products. I'm just glad to chime in to see what you all are talking about.
Well, Miss Cynthia is kind of lit up in here tonight, because I'm going all out tonight. You know, I'm tired of walking around eggshells. I'm tired of watching what I say, but not tonight, because I'm really trying to get my black queens to embrace what I'm trying to say. And the topic tonight is about how a lot of women, black women, don't allow men a safe place to be vulnerable. I showed a video where a black man was saying, y'all want us to be vulnerable, but you don't come off nurturing and loving. You tell us to get over it. Oh, that's been a long time ago. Cry a river and build a bridge. So who cares? That was 20 years ago. But God forbid if us black men would turn around and say that to y'all when you're trying to vent about your trauma. And then we were also talking about, Miss Cynthia, how Gary was saying black men have options now. And I was trying to emphasize that a black man's always first choice is going to be a black woman. That's a given. That's a given. But that is depleting now. It's changing. Why? Gary, tell her why. I want her to hear it from a black man, because it doesn't hold water a lot when I say it, because I don't know nothing. Why are black men exercising their options more?
Well, now, I mean, listen, what we have nowadays is that, you know, black men have a lot of options, right? So there's white women, there's Asian women, there's Latin women, there's Middle Eastern women. There's different nationalities that black men have, and interestingly enough, I guess now, or within the last 10 years or so, it's been somewhat of a fad or trendy to have a black man, but now a lot of them are really getting into relationships, right? And to the point of what we're talking about here, as I was saying, you know, black men have these options now, right? And because of the behavior of how black women have been to black men, you get some of these younger black guys, they don't even want to deal with that. And it goes so deep that now you have these trans women, right? These trans women that's doing gender reassignment. Now they don't even. Now they're dealing with black men now, right? So, and now that's something that people don't want to talk about. So, but when you look at the whole spectrum, there's options. So when black women want to complain or have issues with how black men are, it's like a black man wants peace, and I think most women understand that. And I think that also too, it's, you have different kinds of black men, right? You have the responsible one who's about hard working, doing what he needs to do and do things right. But at the same time, when he's coming home from fighting with his boss or fighting with his job or fighting with the world, he's coming home and got to be in an argument or got to be in a fight. I have friends like that. I got family. I got family members like that. And I think that's something that, black women that need to understand, but some don't want to understand. They don't care to understand. They feel that, and some, like my grandmother would say, they want to be wrong and strong. And that doesn't work, right? Because I mean, if we're supposed to be together, then we're supposed to be able to effectively communicate with each other. We're supposed to be a safe space for each other, and that's not what's going on. So when I say black men have options, all these other women is giving a black man a safe space where he can, be vulnerable. And then black women want to get mad when they find out.
Well, may I comment on that?
Go ahead.
Black men they've always had options. Growing up, it's more acceptable now that black men and white women, but not just white women, but Asian as well. You look back, when our men went to be in the war, the Asian women, they're more submissive, and they still are. And the same thing with white women, they're more submissive than we are. So I think that a lot of black men are just it's more open now. Back in the day, it was like the forbidden fruit, but now it's more acceptable. Even in my own family, my question is, and I asked the question, I know there are some decent, peaceful, understanding black women around here. Why are you still marrying outside of your race? To each his own. Oftentimes when we fall in love with someone, it happens. But I think that black women, we're underrated. We've always been underrated. And it's a hard task when you've been the lay down girl for a long time. It's hard to embark from that. And listen, I'm a black woman, and I have black daughters. And there was a time when my daughters, they dated white men, and I had a problem. I had a freaking problem when my daughters came home and white men knocking at my freaking door. And I asked the question, I know there's some black men around here somewhere. What's the deal? But that was back in the day. But now it's more acceptable now. But I just think that black women, we've been disrespected so long by everybody until sometimes it's hard to get away from that. I have 3 brothers, and I have a biracial nephew, and I had a problem with that. I got to be honest. We got to be honest about. I had a problem with
Absolutely.
that. But listen. I just think that other people they're into their own self. I think black women, we've been given a bad rap, and some women can't get embarked from that. So nobody wants to wait around 10 to 15 years till you get yourself together, because no one's got that kind of time anymore. But in all fairness to black women, I just think when a black woman know who she is and know her worth, then when she meets a man, whether he's black, brown, or white, that she you know, she's okay with herself. I think a lot of black women we're not okay with ourselves because we didn't put down so much. Because if you look at the media, Tyler Perry did a movie, The Diary of a Black Woman. We're still bitter. And oftentimes I say to myself, okay, you got to get over the bitterness. You got to get over it. And a lot of women can't, because they're dealing with the kind of men, they're dealing with men who are cheaters, who don't know who they are. They don't have good credit. They don't have nothing to bring to the table. They don't have nothing to bring to the table unless you're an athlete, you know. And we know that brown women, white women, Asian women, their families groom them to be with the athletes because it's about the money deal. So I don't know. Listen, it's a catch-22. It's because when you're nice to a black guy, a black man. I've been married to 2 black men, and a lot of times they take your kindness for weakness, and that's when it changes. That's when the role changes. Don't take my kindness for weakness, and I think a lot of black men do that. That's just my opinion.
And Miss Cynthia, I'm so glad that you came up here because I wanted your input of a black woman and how they feel. And I'm not here trying to bash black women. I'm trying to open their eyes, because at the end of the day, Miss Bell, and I'll say it again, and I said that I was going to say it throughout the whole show, a black man's first choice will always be a black man. But you know that a lot of black men that I talk to say that a black woman won't even look their way, won't even smile at them.
That's true, because even myself being a mature woman coming to the table, listen, I put men in you know, into a box. If you don't look a certain way, I'm even at my age, and I got a lot of life in me.
I know that's right.
You know, we gotta look the part. We can't, you know, it's not about the big rims on the car. It's not about, you know, I when I used to go to clubs and I would see men, they spending money, they're buying drinks, but they don't have good shoes. They don't have a good car. What the hell you gonna talk to me? How you gonna buy me a drink? Then when you walk me out to my car better than your car. And I mean, come on. You know, so I don't know.
Gary, before you say something, let me go ahead and bring Shish Kebab Keith, aka Smitty's Corner. How you doing, sir?
Hey, what's going on? How y'all feeling?
So how long have you been here, and what have you watched, and what do you have to say about what you've seen and heard?
Let me get this on. I've been watching enough.
And where can we find you?
Oh, respect. So it's your boy Smitty. You can find me. 1 second. Mic check 1 2. There we go. All right, so it's your boy Smitty. You can find me at definitely on YouTube. You can find me on Smitty's Corner. You can find me also every Friday on the JBJ Network on the Friday Night Talk that we do, as well as a few other places. I mean, you know, if you're in these spaces, you'll see Smitty at some point.
You can find you here.
Right here too. Yeah. You can also find me on Great Show. So respect to the panel.
So what do you have? What do you have to say so far? Well, what have you heard? When did you chime in?
I've heard some interesting things, man. I've heard some interesting things. So, like, all right, one, right? To the sister next to me, respect to you. You know, not discrediting anything you're saying. But as a man who was a homeowner, you know, no debt, pretty damn good credit, you know. When I hear women speaking and once again, and how you said you box men, that was mistake number one. Mistake number one, you don't box men, because that's the main reason why brothers like myself are stand-up fathers who are responsible with their finances and financially literate, the whole nine, comes from a good background, two-family household, the whole bit. When I hear that, it's like, so you put me in the same category with all these other niggas? Nah, nah, we ain't gonna do that. There are sections and groups of us, period. Okay? Even down to the car thing. That was very interesting. Your car is better than mine. Your shoes, all frivolous things. Extremely, I mean, like, I'm not even gonna lie, just to be honest up here right now, just to keep it a buck. I would expect to hear that from like a very inexperienced, like 20-year-old, not a woman of your age. Judging a man on his shoes. Now, 1 second, hold on. Let me finish. And let me finish, and then you can rebuttal. All right, thank you.
Go ahead.
Now, even down to, because I heard you yourself, you was talking about how, white women, Asian women and stuff, they're still, I don't know, more submissive, whatever. But you know one thing about them too? They don't judge men on that. White women don't care about stuff like that. They don't. Most women of other cultures, they just really truly care about, like, what type of man are you? The whole goal, the whole deal is to figure out how well are you at leading. Fuck that man's shoes. And if anybody of us know, generally speaking, the smartest of the most wealthiest people, excuse me for that, the smartest of the most wealthiest people generally don't dress up too much. They don't come out real flashy. You have no idea how many guys I know. They got a little, like, back in the day pickup truck. You may see them at the store and you thinking that's their car. Nope. Let you get back to their crib. But see, that's the thing, because everything is so surface with women. Everything is so, it's like, nah, if you gotta look the part. No, sis, let me help you out. What you have to do is walk the part. You have to be the part. That's what we have to be. We have to walk and be the part. So, when I hear stuff like that, it's like, because even myself, my folks know, I wear the same gray Reebok hoodie that only costs like $35. And I got money. Not even up here bragging enough. I got bread. That's nothing. I can pay for things. You see? But I don't ever really concern myself too much. Now, I can get fly if I want to, but I don't really concern myself too much about always having to look the part. You know what I do? You know how I get my light? You know how I get my shine? You know how I get my respect? Because I walk the part. And people around me and my community and people who see me and know me, they know I live what it is I say. So at the end of the day, man, buck what Smitty got on. Smitty is a stand-up man, and Smitty is a man who is about his word. How do they know this? Because they're not just simply judging me. Oh, look at him. Nah, shoes ain't right. What kind of car is that? Fuck no. No, they're not doing it. No. They take time and they speak to Smitty. They ask questions. They inquire. They sit back. They pay attention. They observe. And then make a conclusion. And that's generally how this thing is supposed to work. But I'm not too, I don't really get too much of how people think. Now, again, no shade to what you said. I'm not discrediting your experience, because we all have an experience out here. But as somebody with counter experiences, I just wanted to share mine as well. I digress. My mic is muted. Thank you, Grace, for pulling me up, sis. I'm right here.
Thank you for that. You guys, we've been in this almost an hour and 10 minutes. And that, Gary, I haven't even gotten into my notes yet. But I knew that this was going to be a hot topic. Because at the end of the day, Miss Cynthia, I want to see more Black women with Black men, because then that means there are going to be more kids with a mother and a father. That means there's going to be more better raised children, because the statistics show it, that kids that come from a two-parent household do better. They do better in school. They stay out of the jail system. They tend to do less drugs. They tend to be less depressed because you have both the mother and the father. So I'm not just looking at the trees, I'm looking at the whole forest. And not only that, Miss Cynthia, I have a Black son. You know, I mean, yes, he's mixed because I'm his mother, but if he brings a beautiful Black queen to the house and she's respectful and treats her right, then that's what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna push her away. But the fact that at 13 years old, he's already come to the conclusion that he doesn't like Black, that he didn't say this. I prefer, because he watches his words wisely, I would prefer to date a Spanish girl, Mom. I don't really do Black girls. And I said, but why? You're so young. Why would you even come? You haven't even touched the surface, you know? I'm like, but because Mom, they're loud, they're right. I don't like the weave, you know, and I said, but that's the only ones you've seen at school. He was like, that's all I need to see. And I'm like, wow, that's like really sad, because he might bypass a beautiful Black girl just because of his perception of what he thinks is a decent Black girl. I said, what about when you go to college? You're gonna meet a lot of nice Black girls there.
Grace.
Yes.
Real quick. One, am I coming through clear, right? I'm not glitchy.
No, you're not glitchy at all. You're coming through clear. So,
Respect. I just wanted to say real quick to what you were saying, because I'm gonna run to the restroom,
okay.
so I don't lose this train of thought. That's all. I'm sorry, love.
That's okay.
What your son is expressing, right? So, like, one, hold on. How old is he again? Let's see. What? High school, college? What?
Well, when we had this conversation, he was 13, but he's 17 now.
Okay. No. Fine. Thank you. Okay. So my point is this, because it helps prove my point, what I'm trying to say. What we have to recognize is that what your son is seeing, the thing is that if there were more young Black women, you know, the like my daughter's 15. Okay. All right. My daughter's 15. If there were more of these young ladies coming up with fathers in nuclear households, more structure, okay? I promise you, everything that your son is expressing is the trickle-down effect.
Absolutely.
It's coming right on down. That's from their mother at home, how they talk about men, how they treat men, how they act, and everything else. And guess what? They take that shit with them in school. See, what we have to remember is that children are basically like organic, real life, living tape recorders.
Sponges.
They mimic everything we say and do. So everything that you hear, so when your son was 13 and you had that discussion with him, so what, 13, that's about what, 8th grade, 8th, 9th grade, middle school? Yeah. I know. Yeah. So so that early having that discussion, look at what these girls are already was being planted in. He's not hearing this from their moms. He don't talk to the mothers. Who's he talking to? He's talking to the women's daughters. All of us up here, our children. Basically, okay, we're the ones who would be the parents. He ain't talking to us, he's talking to the kids, and that's what he's hearing, and that's what I'm saying. So that's it's very scary. So I just wanted to to land it right here. It's a narrative that's being pushed out here that is so terrible, so terrible. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Back during like the slavery days and stuff like that, how they say Black people overall were considered like what was that, like an eighth of a human or something like that, or a third of a human, whatever it is. We weren't even considered like full. Yeah, three. Okay, there we go. Thank you very much for the correction. I ain't good on history. I was a C student. Anyway,
I was an A student.
So, my man, that's why I need you. So what I'm saying is that we weren't considered all the way human, and we fought so hard. We have really put in solid work and worked so hard to get to a certain point where we can be considered that. Just to have our own women turn around, and they don't even realize it, and they do it in the name of like single and being independent and everything else, and I can do what a man can do, and you have no idea how much you're basically discrediting and downplaying the men. We're going right back to men not being, because see, when I hear my sister say, if your car and your shoes ain't right, if you don't have this much money and you don't make six figures, if you not this height, if your voice ain't this tone, if you don't have this kind of swag, if you don't have enough tattoos and everything else, whatever all this frivolous shit, it goes right back. We don't even realize it. It goes right back to you not even looking at me as human, because you basing me on some shit on the outside of me. Don't have nothing to do with what is on the inside. You don't want nothing to do with that. You don't even want to take time. Now, let me say this. I do get the art of getting women. So to my sister's point, all right? So now to your point, sister, I will say this, right? I do get it, because the fact is that almost like the whole you can attract more bees with honey than vinegar kind of saying, it's like, I do recognize how we are, like, you supposed to, like me, I may not have on like the most fanciest of stuff, but I always make sure I'm clean, I'm shaped up. You can tell I wash my face and brush my teeth, you know what I mean? Like all of that. Like I make sure I'm fresh. I get that. Make sure I smell good. That's man, my father taught me that. See, that's the importance of having a father. My father taught me that, Mike, man, make sure you got your nails clean. Make sure that you keep your shoes nice. Make sure that you smell good. Make sure you keep your teeth clean. Make sure you brush your hair. I know all of these things, right? Got that from my dad. So it's like, I do get the whole men should make sure that we keep up with our appearance. But the only thing that I'm saying is, in a nutshell, to land it right here, so I'm going to run to the restroom, Grayson, but I'm still here. I can hear you. Okay. I think it goes back to the classic saying of don't judge a book by its cover. Okay? Some of the most wonderful of novels have the most bland and plainest of covers. Some of the most trash I've ever seen in my life, read in my life, couldn't even make it through the book, have the most fabulous, it's like hologram, it's 3D. When you turn the book, it kind of reflects and everything. Man, some garbage. So just don't judge a book by its cover. So I just wanted to say it on that note. I digress. My mic is muted.
May I
go ahead,
sis.
No. I'm done. You got it, sis. I digress. Okay. My mic is muted. Yeah.
Well, I have two daughters, and they're professional women. And I raised them to, listen, you want to deal with somebody who can bring something to the table. And if you don't have anything to bring to the table, what's the point? And I think that the young man may have misunderstood what I was saying earlier. And I made a comment a few years ago, and I said that my husband is a preacher, is a pastor, and I made a comment one time, and I said I would not follow a man who had on raggedy shoes. I would not, because if you're going to be a leader in my life, in your own life, then you've got to project. You've got to project the image. And we can sit here all night long I mean, I've been married my second time 30 years. And I don't listen. It's not so much about of course, your conversation has a lot to say about your individuality. But I raise my daughters. Listen, don't get it twisted. At the end of the day, if a man cannot bring nothing to your table, then you don't have no use for them, and vice versa. It's not about
I don't think anybody disagrees with that, sister. Real quick, let me ask you. You said your husband. Oh, sure.
Allow you to finish. Allow me to finish.
I said sure. Okay. When you're done, I got a question.
So
sure.
Now, when I made that comment, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, Cynthia, you're being arrogant. You being this and you being that." But don't get. At the end of the beginning of the day, end of the day, if you are a leader in your own life, if you're clean, if you talk with sense, if you have integrity, then I get it. I can understand it. But a lot of our black men, they don't have it. They're talking yang stuff. They have nothing. They have nothing to offer you. They don't have good credit. They don't have no home. By the age of 35 or 40, if you don't have a home, what the hell? What you been doing the last 30, 40 years?
Hold on. Grace. Let me. All right. So, real quick. All right. So you said your husband was a pastor, right? I just want to tackle a few key points of what you said because I'm listening to you, sis. You said your husband was a pastor, right? So, okay. So you're talking about the shoes and stuff like that. All right, cool. All right. So you know, being a woman of faith, being a woman of the church, I'm pretty sure why when the Messiah, the Son of Mary, when he came into town, why did people reject him? Why?
Sir, we can go back to biblical times all day long.
No. Wait. We're not going to do that. No. Stop. Slow down. No. I want you to stay right here. Do you know the answer or not? I'll give you the answer. Because he came in on a donkey. Because he came in on a donkey. Because he didn't come in. Hold on now. Because the Messiah, the Son of Mary himself, did not come in fancy. But guess what though? Hold on now. But we all, there was a message that had to get out. So the fact is that even the Messiah, the Son of Mary himself, he came in, never glorified being fancy, never glorified. Now, out of all the miracles that the Messiah has done, feeding with fish and stuff, raised up out of your bed and walk and all of this and healing the blind, everything, the ear and all of that, right? Why didn't he just manifest some whole bunch of gold for himself and just walk around like Mansa Musa? You want to know why? Because it wasn't about that. Because it wasn't about that.
It wasn't his destiny to do that. And then
even down to when you're talking about most men don't have things to offer and most men talk gibberish. Listen, love, let me just explain this to you. This is why fathers are so important. When women continuously choose daddy government over having a nuclear family, okay? When that happens, you know what happens? Men are then raised by women. So you got so what you're seeing, what you're hearing is a whole bunch of emotional ass men who don't really know how to think and move.
Who raising these men?
Exactly. Who raising them? Who's there? See, the thing is that women. So now, hold on. So let's even go to, thank you, Grace, for that. Let's even go to if we want to say, oh, well, the dads ain't there for whatever reason. Okay. Locked up, passed away, military, whatever, blah, blah, blah. List goes on. Fine. Thing is this. Who's on the scene? We all know possession is 9/10 of the law. I could ride around with a gun that don't belong to me, and it belongs to Wally for president over here. You know what I'm saying? Whole time that's Wally gun. But if it's in my car and I'm riding in my car with Wally gun, guess who's gonna get charged with it? Me. So point blank period, whoever has the child, however them children coming out, who got them? So if mom talking about something, I can do it all by myself, I don't need no man and everything else. Hey, guess what, boo? That's what you get. That's exactly what we get. That's why these men are extremely feminine. I want you to pay attention to how these dudes even dance now. They dance like women. All these little motions with hands in the air and stuff and snapping fingers, and these niggas dance like women because they have no masculinity around them. And the fact is that we want to keep on trying to skate over and scoot away from the fact that these boys and these girls need some masculinity. See, you need hands made of. Look, this is what my father, once again, see that? I'm going to keep going back to quotes of my dad. That's what I'm going to do all through the rest of the show. I'm going to keep going back to quotes of my dad. My father told me, Mike, look, a man who is balanced is a man who knows that life is built around hands made of velvet and thunder. He said, the mother is the velvet, I'm the thunder. You see, it's a balance. And see, women keep on trying to be the whole scale. You keep trying to be both sides of the weight. You can't do that, boo. You on one side of the scale, I'm on the other. And guess what? When we both get in there, we balance it out. It ain't no I'm dropping down, you way up here and vice versa. No, we just balance it out. But see, the thing is that women nowadays refuse to just be the other balancing aspect of the equation. They refuse to be a balancing aspect of the equation. So it's like now everything is all thrown off balance. It's thrown off. So, with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Go ahead, sis. You can rock out.
And Miss Cynthia, to offset what you said, I understand what you're saying. Wally, I got you. You're next. You say that these men don't have this, don't have this, don't have that, but let's turn the mirror on us. What are these women offering these men? Half of them don't know how to cook. Half of them don't know how to clean. They're out here with bonnets. They're out here with fuzzy slippers and pajamas. They don't know how to present themselves. And that's I know, Miss Cynthia, you know that I know because I've dated black men and I know the type of men that you're talking to. But the objective of tonight is to turn the mirror on women. And we already know some men ain't shit, but we gotta admit that a lot of women ain't shit either. And we need to do better. I can't save the 30-year-old and the 40-year-old who's already, but we can talk. You and me, who are considered old heads, can talk to the younger girls. Yes, I want you to go to college and education, but you also go to college to try to meet a husband, somebody to build with. Women want a 6-7 figure man built already. Okay, what do you bring to the table? But what does the woman bring to the table? What does she have to offer to the man?
Grace.
But you know something though, Grace? Women nowadays, they be trying to, it's not even about what they offer. You know what? They do offer something, but they offer the wrong thing. They don't offer what it is that they're supposed to offer. It's like, has anybody ever had somebody do a favor for you, but they don't want to do what you asking them to do? They want to do what they want to do for you. You like, God dang it, man. Like, you know what I mean? You like, I appreciate it, but like, I don't want that. Like, if you want to do something for me, can you do what I'm asking you to do that I would like for you to do? And it's kind of like that, so it's like women do offer something, but we don't want you to compete with us, like real quick. So Landon, there was this commercial. And I want y'all to pay attention to this, because I mentioned this before, but I'm saying it again.
Gotta get Wally in there, okay?
All right, Wally, man, look, Wally in the bathroom somewhere. Wally fine. He fine. He let him.
Yeah, you keep talking on nothing. Keep going.
Anyway, real quick though, right? The commercial with Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. So they laying in the bed. It's the new commercial that's out. I'm pretty sure y'all seen it, but pay attention to it next time you see it. So at the end of the commercial, Dwayne Wade kind of rises and lifts up and everything. They advertising a mattress, and he says, "Real calm. Hey, it's not a competition." So I want y'all to pay attention to the symbolism.
Guys, go follow me on YouTube. The show is hot and lit and a panel on YouTube. So go.
Yeah. I want y'all to pay attention to the symbolism. The symbolism is, well, The black man is saying to his woman, hey, look, I'm not trying to compete with you. She leans up on her side of the bed and says, yeah, I know it's not a competition, but I'm still winning. And it's like, yo, god dang. And it's like, I peeped that. That wasn't an organic discussion that was happening. That was a script. And that script, and that script was written for a reason. Women don't want to just play their part. And they don't realize how much their femininity is a superpower. It really is. It is like a superpower. The femininity, the things that are required of a woman and that come with a woman that really encompasses femininity. And they just thrown that away. And that's why it's off balance. And that's why we're off right now. I digress. I'm Wally for president. Rock out.
Wally, thanks for coming up on the panel. I know if you're on the panel, you got something to say, because you barely come up. You always, talk in the comments. So introduce yourself.
I want to hear this.
And what you got to say, what you got to get off your chest, because I'm intrigued as well. What you got to say? Yeah, and I got some after Wally talks, guys. I got my comments piled up, so I got to get those out the way. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. So look. So to lady in the upper right side. So you said, and hopefully I'm getting this right, you said if a man were to have dirty shoes, then that could not be your leader, correct?
Yes. I said that.
Interesting. So can I ask you something? What's the difference between a leader and a boss?
Well, listen. I'm gonna say, listen, I made a statement, okay, and I apologize because I'm just getting over a cold. My voice is kind of cracking. If you're a leader, I know this is between a leader and a boss. I've been both. So a leader, okay, cares about how they look. They do. And if you're going to lead people, you got to walk. Everything has to line up with what you're projecting out of your mouth. If you're telling me that how good God is and how He's blessing you, and you've got dirty shoes, that lets me know that you're not doing something right. Okay, that's what I meant by that statement. Now let me go a little bit further.
Have you ever seen a foreman on a construction site?
Let her finish. Come on, because I really want to get this through.
Go ahead, man.
I don't know anything about blue collar.
Wally, you better tackle this.
I don't know anything about blue collar workers, so I don't know about that. Okay, I don't know about. I know that people, when they're out in the mist, they're working outside. I know that they get dirty. I know that things happen. I don't know about that. Okay, I come from a family of lineage of people who are PhDs and educators and all that. I don't know about that. So don't put me somewhere where I don't belong. So I know
because
that
people in your family had a PhD, they don't know about being. No, hold on, Wally.
No,
they don't know about working.
I need to.
They don't know about working.
Let her finish, goddamn, please.
I understand about employment. I get about employment. I get that. But we're talking about somebody who's leading thousands of people. Okay? If you're leading thousands of people, you can't tell me that
every great leader has to be a student first.
Can we also bring it up, please. Speak it up, please. Leader, the difference between leader and boss, please, lead it up.
What are we doing? Are you waiting on my comment?
Yes, your comment, because I asked you the difference.
A boss is a person that gives you directives, tell you what to do. Whereas a leader, as a leader, you serve the people. You embrace the people. As being a boss, I mean, there is a difference, but don't attack me of how I feel. And
I'm not attacking. I don't know anything. I asked you a simple question.
Well, I gave you my
and everything she's saying right now is exactly why the men speak on how they feel, because these men are replicating the women that they're being brought up by. I just want us to pay attention to this. How you feel. We're not talking about how you feel, man. Words matter. And the words matter. So what you say matters. And you got to make it make sense.
And with that said, okay, so let me bring it back. The reason why I asked you about your comment, let alone to also ask you the leader and the difference between the leader and the boss, is this. My thing is, the leader is the one is amongst the people, truly leading them by showing them how to operate what they are doing. Yes or no?
Right? They're serving the people.
They're amongst the people. Literally, moving my actions amongst the people.
Yes.
Okay, but the boss is the one also telling them what to do and staying apart. The reason why I'm making my correlation with your comment is the leader is the one moving. You're talking about you would not want a leader that has dirty shoes, but he's the one moving amongst the people. So if he's the one leading you to move to one direction to another, what are we talking about here?
But not even that. Hey, Wally, we got an old saying in football just to compliment that. We say that if you come back after the game and your jersey is clean, you ain't played. You ain't been in the game. That man's shoes might be dirty because he's the one that made that pass. He led the way.
You know,
that's why. No. Men who put in work, we got callus on our hands. Men who put in work, when we get out that truck or we get out that car, sometimes our boots is a little dirty. You don't know what that man's check is. Whole time he might be an electrician or something. You don't know, journeyman or anything. You don't know what that man makes.
I'm getting on these comments.
My opinion is not going to change. I've said it. I'm not going to recant from that.
Grace. You got a comment. Grace. Go ahead.
Okay, let me get on these comments. Charles Chandler said, I want to be married to a black woman one day. That's good, especially if you're a black man. You're supposed to want to be married to a black man. And then, hold on.
You mean a black woman?
This was just me. Yeah, the black woman, sorry. Hold on, because they've been stuck there for so long. Give me just a second. And then, here we go. See, I was ready, and then now it is just stuck. Give me just a second, guys. And then Charles Chandler came back and said, I'm just gonna read him. He said, where is the channel for the black husbands? Well, you gotta go YouTube surfing. There's a lot of channels out here for that. And then I'm gonna keep going down the road. I was saying salute to Wally. Thank you for coming in. And then Wally came back and said, but we always judge a book by the cover on both sides. And then he was supporting the channel. He was laughing. And then Wally asked, what is the image of a leader? And I guess that's where that question came about, Wally. And then I got my boy True Table here. I don't know if he's gonna come up on the panel, but he said the fact that she said her table, she is wrong, shaking my head. And then he came back and said, when you said, what do you bring to the table? And then, hold on, I told you guys I had a lot of comments here because we got into it. Give me just a minute. I hear beeps. That means somebody else trying to knock on the door. Oh, come on. Give me my comments quickly. Hold on. He said, True Table said, it's not a woman's relationship to begin with. It's the man's. It is the man's always. And then that's when Wally asked, what is the difference between a leader and a boss? And then True Table, he's been here. I've been trying to read your comments, True. We men don't care if you're career driven, if you're ugly and fat, okay? And if you don't have the deed on your home, you aren't a homeowner, ma'am. And I guess that he was. And then, yeah, you're right. You could be paying on a house for 30 years before you really become that homeowner. Then he came. Hold on, guys. I got two more comments. He said there, and then he said most of these. Goodness. Come on. They're good too. Okay, it'll pop up. But guys, I haven't even gotten to my information. So let's get into this where it says, what does it mean to be vulnerable in a relationship? Being vulnerable in a relationship is allowing to let your guard down to connect in raw and open manner. In other words, is putting your heart on the line, even if that means heartache. This might sound like an ouch, but vulnerability encourages the most authentic version of yourself to come to the forefront. Now, ladies, if we don't allow that safe space for a man to become vulnerable, he's not going to come to you and talk to you and express his thoughts, his inner emotions, and then you complain. A vulnerable person in a relationship means being in a position where other people can hurt you, and it often means expressing the sides of yourself about which you have the least confidence and certainty in allowing others to respond. And I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna tell y'all, ladies, what is the main reason why most men don't want to be vulnerable with y'all. Well, most women. And examples of vulnerability: taking a chance that might lead to rejection, talking about mistakes that you have made, sharing a person information that you normally will keep private, feeling difficult emotions such as shame, grief, and fear, and reconnecting with somebody you have fallen out. I want to tell you this, and I know most women don't look at it this way. And I know, Smitty, you experienced this for me last week when I thanked you, because I recognized that you had opened up to me. You opened up on my live. And to me, it's an honor when a man opens up to me and breaks down and tells me his most inner thoughts or things that he's been through, because that means he feels safe.
What did I say? What did I say, Grace?
You talked about when you was in jail and you was locked up and all of that, you know.
Okay. Yeah. That's nothing. All right. Okay.
Yeah, it's nothing, but it is something, because you're putting your business out there, and that's why men don't put their business.
Yeah, true.
Men, trust me, men want to talk, but because they've been taught all their lives to suck it up, walk off, or we talk about that, you guys don't understand tremendous health, mentally, physically. So now, and we're gonna go and wrap up all my shows in one nice box with a bow. So now we're cutting them off from sex. We're not allowing them to talk in their safe place. We're not giving them peace in their house. God damn. I mean, how? And then you want a man to come 6 figures, give you everything he wants, have sex with you like a porn star. I mean, we want so much from our, but so little. Where they do that at? And I'm putting y'all out there. Can I say something to that? I don't give a fuck tonight if y'all get mad at me. Keep short and sweet, because I still got a lot of stuff to say.
Nah.
Go ahead, honey.
All right. I ain't mad at you.
Go ahead.
So when it comes to the whole man and the vulnerability, me as a man of my stature, you know, this is just my personal advice, and I'll leave it at that. It's not safe, ever. I don't care if it's your wife, whatever. It's not safe for men to be showing our vulnerability. Now,
that's
men
sad,
are so.
Smitty. That's sad.
No, hear me. All right, hear me. Because a lot of this now, I can get that coming from you as a woman. So that right there, I get it. You as a woman, I can recognize why you would respond in such a manner. One more time. As a man speaking, and a man of my stature, I'm telling you right now, no. All that showing like your vulnerability and stuff. Mm-mm. See, the thing is that this is why men have things like, extracurricular activities like fishing, camping, things of that nature. See, I'm not saying that a man shouldn't cry. One more time, let's go back to biblical, right? If you want to, the son of Mary, the Messiah himself, he wept, right? As it is written. Okay, cool. So let's move forward. I'm not saying a man shouldn't cry or anything. No, what I'm saying is you don't do that in front of the ones who you're supposed to protect. The very moment that I show you my vulnerability is the very moment that you will have doubt in my protection and leadership. See, that's the side of it that women don't get, how men think. Like we don't operate the same. So me like there was a quick skit Bill Burr did, and it was pretty damn funny. And I'll just and I'm landing it right here, Grace. The skit was about turbulence. Nah, hear me, love. The skit was about turbulence, and he was like, when the plane started shaking, he said, "Man, it was so embarrassing, or whatever it was, to hear this guy back behind me, fully beard and everything, going and screaming and stuff like that. You know what I mean?" And he's like, "Nah." He's like, "I can't, like with the women and children, I can't turn this, plane into like a haunted house and I'm screaming with the women." You know what I mean? Like, no. As much as I may be terrified myself, as much as I may know, God, man, this might be over with, to the very last blinking moment, it is my duty to make sure that if we are all going to go, that we go, that I provide as much comfort and peace as possible to that situation. I can't be screaming and crying just like you. No. We are supposed to maintain a certain amount of almost, even though I don't agree with this, but not God-like presence, but like truly like impenetrable king. We don't show that like we don't show that we bleed like the rest. Although we do.
You're human.
Although
you're
we
human,
do.
Smitty.
Oh, I'm saying it. Although we do. But you're not getting it. We don't show our hand. See, that's showing your hand. You never because the moment you do that, they will swallow you.
So let me chime. Okay, I'll wait till you're done.
Forget showing the hand.
No, I got my mic is muted. Go ahead, Gary. Go ahead.
So, and I definitely agree with a lot of what you're saying. I think, though, when it comes to being vulnerable, one, I think that it's extremely important nowadays in the type of lady that we choose, right? Now, I think that in that, being able to have a moment where we don't necessarily cry, but we're feeling down or what have you. Now, to the point of when shit's about to get crazy, then we have to provide the security, the protection, and the comfort. Now, there are many times for those of us men who have in the, 3 o'clock in the morning, nobody's around, then we have our moment and break down, but nobody knows except us and the higher power, right? So in other words,
you're supposed to suffer in silence?
Well, that's
you gotta suffer in silence.
No, but hold on. Wait. Hold on. So what I'm saying is that, for those of us men, when we have our moments at night when we're by ourselves, and if something's happening that's, that is too much, that we have our moments that we break down. We've all gone through that. If a man said that he hasn't done it, then that's not true. Now, what I'm also saying is that when it comes to a female partner that we have, this is why it's so important that if we're having a moment, of quote unquote vulnerability, we could share that with her, and she'll understand and won't turn around and throw it in your face later or use that against you later, because a lot of these women out there now, that's what they're gonna do.
That's why we don't do it,
ladies and gentlemen, that's the main reason why men won't open up, because in the heat of the moment and in the argument, and that I agree.
But this is why I say,
but really they
like,
should.
this is why it's important. When you choose your lady or the lady that you have, she has to be, in my opinion, really fucking special. Because here's and I think, bro, you would agree with me on this. When we open up and you throw that back at us, that's like a betrayal.
And this is why.
Yeah. Yes. Most definitely. Go ahead, Wally. No. What you saying, Wally? Go ahead, Wally.
No, what I was gonna say was this. Honestly, in my opinion, you should share it with them. You know why? It makes it more easier. Let me tell you why. The moment you put it out there, and guess what? You're gonna see if she bites. If she bites and she tells you otherwise, and she don't even come to your feelings, you can get rid of her sooner. Why motherfucking just waste time? Get rid of her sooner. I mean, don't get me wrong.
So you saying cry by the third date? Cry by the third date, Wally?
Bro, you know good what I'm talking about.
Just break down and be like, Mama did this,
get the freak
Daddy did that.
No.
We ain't crying. But you know, I'd rather my man express himself to me, walk around with an attitude, walk around lashing out at the kids because he's frustrated about something. Let's talk about it. Let's roll a joint, have a drink. Let's go sit down.
Listen. The thing is,
don't hold shit
yeah.
in, and then lash out.
Nah, watch this. See, Grace, there are levels and steps to this. The thing is, watch this. So what I do is, as a man, I'm telling you, as true apex alphas, and how we move. And all alpha mean is first leader. That's it. That's all. Alpha does not mean overbearing, masculine, aggressive, controlling. Just to make that clarity. So as a true apex alpha, right? What I do first is I go off. No, I talk to you first, and I'll let you know, man. Look, I'm not right now in my head. I'm gonna take a second. No, that doesn't mean we're breaking up. No, that doesn't mean I'm going off to my side bitch house. Nothing like that. No. I'm just gonna go to my peaceful spot. Now, like for a guy like myself and most men like me, usually that's like either your camping spot, your favorite, lake, or get out on the boat to go fishing. That's what we do. We go off and we do more so solitary, golfing, you name it. Usually the things we do is a solitary thing because we want that seclusion. Okay? I then come back and after now, while I'm out, right? Real quick, while I'm out, I might weep. I might be getting ready to stroke on my golf, putt or something. I might, bust out crying. I may be getting ready to reel out. I may bust out crying. But you know what? I'm not around you when I did that. And before I came back around you, I went on ahead and I straightened up. I got my shit together. And I came back around you and I maintained that appearance and that what you know me to be. And then, hold on. Then from there, the last step, me and you go off and, we do what we do. Like you said, maybe, let's take a long park or, let's take a long walk around the park like Jill Scott, right? Let's go do that. And I'll talk to you. But the one thing I'm not going to do is break down and be crying around you. I'm not doing that. No, done, dead. Because us as men, we know the ultimate repercussions of that. A woman will accept it at the moment initially, but I promise you from that point on, it's almost like when you're playing a video game or something or whatever, and you find that weak spot in the balls. It's like that. It's like, okay. I see you got to hit it like right around like the heart and the arm. Okay, so that's like the weak point. That's really how it winds up being. So now you know my weak points. Nah, I don't need you to know my weak points. And I'm telling you how men think, truly. Men who came up around men, this is how we think. Now, men who didn't come up around men, maybe they might have a different take on life. And that's okay, because they came up a different way. I'm just telling you how we rock out.
But communication
I digress.
is
My mic is
important in a
muted.
relationship. Communication is important in a relationship. I'm not a fucking mind.
When did I? Hold on. Hey, Grace.
No,
when did I say that we weren't communicating? No, Grace. When did I say we weren't communicating? When did I say that? I said we're going to talk. I said then we can go roll a J, take a long walk, and we'll talk. What I said specifically, solely is the one process of that whole thing that you will not be a part of is the crying part. The weeping. If I'm, when I'm really breaking down, because even down to most men thinking smart, I'm not going to want to be around nobody when I'm like that. I'm not going to want to bring that upon you. Because part of my protection and leadership is even down to me knowing you ride off of my mood. So if I'm down, you down. I'm not going to bring that around you. I'm going to wait till I get my shit together and I'm going to come around you right so that you continuously keep the right, what do y'all say? Good vibes only, right? Okay, now. I digress. My mic is muted.
Good vibes only. No one no trauma. No difficult times. No one know about them difficult times.
Hey, Wally,
I'm so sad. That's sad. Oh Lord. Oh,
Lord. Grace.
I hear you.
Everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
I have to agree with the young man. I don't want somebody around me that's crying more than me. And I know communication is key. But I think what he said, there's a lot of validity to what he said. And because, get yourself together, then come back and deal with me accordingly. But if you falter down, I'm the wrong female to falter down in front of. I'm the wrong one. So I think that, I agree with what the young man said. Go get yourself together, come back, get your thoughts together, come back, and then let's convene and let's talk about it. And let's move forward. If you're better, we're better.
Thank you, sister.
Some men don't even want, it's not even the crying that I was even getting to. It's just having a safe place to at least come and talk. We don't even do that enough for men. We don't even, Wally, are you able to let True in? Because he said he's been hanging backstage, but I don't see him. I don't see you. So we don't even allow the men to be comfortable enough to at least come talk to us. I'm not even getting to the crying part. It's like
I agree with that, Grace.
Oh, there he is. Grace. No, I'm sorry, True.
Yeah, you didn't scroll down.
I see you now. My bad. I didn't even scroll. I'm not used to having so many people on my panel. So I'm True. I apologize for leaving you hanging on backstage for so long. I didn't even scroll down a little bit. But if you want to show your face, get off mute and talk what you've been saying, because you've had a lot of comments. And I want, this is a good topic. So whenever you're ready, Bob.
I know. I've been feeling like a straight stepchild, sitting here waving my hand back and forth. This is wild. I'm like, oh no, it's all good. It's all good. And you definitely got to get used to people being on your panel, Grace. This is what we're doing it for.
I know this is a full house tonight, and I love it. And thank you so much, because you can tell that this is a conversation that needs to be had. But go ahead, Truth. Speak your truth right now. It's all yours.
Okay. No, well, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not going to cam up. I'm out and about. But what I did hear, a couple of things being said, and to my, my sister up in the corner, I think it's Miss Cynthia Bell. I think some of the things she was sharing on were very pivotal. I guess it's really disturbing, though, is that it's still wrong information. And what I mean by wrong information is that regardless of if it's 2023, there is a divide in our community that continues to think that our women are supposed to be bringing to the table what we men bring to the table. And if that's the case, then we really don't need men, and we can just allow the women to take on the masculine position. I think that's an incorrect thing, and I think that's why it continues to be a clash. I try to keep it very simple, and it comes across very offensive. Men want women for sex. They want them for intimacy. They want them for the soft privileges that is a woman. No man truly cares what you're capable of in the corporate world. Does not make you sexier. And I wish that our women would get this. Don't know why this is such a struggle, because they continue to try to make it valuable, and it's not valuable. It's valuable to you, not really valuable to us. We don't care. What men simply care about is how attractive you are, how easy you are to get along with. Can you implement into my life and be nurturing and those kind of things? And that may be offensive. I'm assuming it's offensive to women. That's what I'm assuming. Because every time we say this, it seems to be like, oh, but you should value me because my FICO score is high. We don't care. You should value me because I'm a homeowner, which I made a comment in the comments that you're not a homeowner until you have a deed. So people need to stop saying that crap, because it's not true. You just have higher rent. But anyway, and it's just disturbing. As far as the vulnerability, Smitty said a lot of things. You have to earn vulnerability, in my opinion, as a woman to a man at different stages, because it is gonna be,
Absolutely.
it's gonna come in different forms. And I think that this again is another type of social decay we have, because we live in such a time that is fast. We have Wi-Fi, we have all these things. I believe a good relationship takes time. And I think the vetting process used to be easier because we have intact families. We have people who can see things you couldn't see. But because everybody's doing this now, it's a little bit more difficult. I'm sorry, any man that's listening, any woman that's listening, a man is going to vet you. And if you feel you're as quality as you are, then it shouldn't be a problem being put under pressure. Because if you are who you really are, it's going to show every time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get the issue. But when you're competing on things that are not, well, when you're competing on things that are tangible, that is going to be very difficult. You pull up in a Range Rover and he has a Honda Accord. Well, if your eyes are untrained and you're judging this man solely based on what he is mobilizing in, well, then I would have to question your character, my sister, because you're living in the wrong perspective, in my opinion.
Hey, but not even that. They don't even realize 9 times out of 10 that man who's driving that Toyota Camry or that Honda Accord is probably paid for. And that person in that Beamer and that Land Rover, Lord knows how many times they got to refinance and they in debt and everything else. They got to park the car around the corner because of the repo people and all of this other crazy stuff. Not saying all the way to that degree to be extreme, but just saying it can go there. So it's like, little do you know, like, you just, again, judging a book by its cover. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah, and it just, it's disturbing. I personally don't get it, and for those who don't, I do my best to try to speak from a very broad perspective. Is what I found that in our communities, particularly, we don't have enough human experiences outside of our community to even have some of these conversations, because you only deal with Black people. You only talk to Black people. Matter of fact, you only know how to acquiesce to Black people. I've been all over the world, dated all types of people, been in all types of rooms that most people haven't. What I found, and I think Gary understands this, is that the perspective of how we do things is not a universal practice. Not even close.
That's right. Absolutely right.
So our relationship practices suck. We need to take it slow. We need to keep it simple. We need to stop trying to status base this thing, because there's so much brokenness and insecurities in the community that we think that, we're going to go ahead and dress it up. It's all just dressed it up. I think Kanye said it best. You still, insecure. There's something in his lyrics, but the cars, the degrees, all that crap don't matter. A relationship is going to show through the interactions, through the communication, through the children if you birth them, and if you raise them correctly. You'll see the fruit of who the people are, because it'll always replicate itself. All this other crap really doesn't matter, in my opinion. But my mic is muted. I'm going to continue to listen in.
Okay. Smitty, you didn't started something. And I also have Parker's Playhouse. As a man, you can't show that side as much because you will be considered weak. And you're absolutely right, because that's how little boys are raised. Oh, get up. There's no crying. Oh, suck it up. Oh, man up. And then you wonder why you got people out here full of so much hostility, rage, and anger. And when they let that shit loose, oh my God, he's mentally disturbed. Oh my God. Right. You know what I'm saying? We don't
Grace, you know how you balance that out, though? You know how you balance that out?
I wouldn't call that.
See, men, yes, we have been raised as far as like, you know what, like suck it up. And you know what? To a large degree, I agree with that. Nah, because man, listen, You're talking about survival. You're talking about survival of civilizations and legacies and like generations to come. You gotta, you have
agree
to have that,
to
huh?
a certain extent, but not to the
Nah,
point where
ain't no
where a
certain
man.
extent. No, because there's no certain extent when men know I'm doing this life or death. And that's what men do. We know that our existence is, I must leave a garden. I must leave a legacy, life or death. No, ain't no to an extent. Again, see, that's you as a woman responding. That's not how we think.
Okay. With that being said,
that's all I'm trying to get you to get.
I hear you, but here's a study by Dr. Breen Brown, and she says male vulnerability is the ability.
She says, keep going.
Male vulnerability is the ability to be open, honest at their experience, even when they are difficult. It's the ability to show.
Like you said, she said, I'm not gonna lie, Grace. I mean, again, you're trying to give me advice about men from a woman.
I'm not.
I'm a man. I listen. You're getting it from the horse's mouth, and you're still rejecting it. I'm giving it to you.
But you also have to understand that it's not good to hold things in. It's not good to suppress things.
You're not getting the mythology behind why I'm saying it. It's for the preservation of generations to come. It's a certain, listen, you cannot.
Well, then you didn't see the video. You didn't see the video that I played at the beginning of the show. I'm going to need you to see it.
I digress. My mic is muted, Grace.
That was another man speaking about vulnerability.
Let me chime in real quick. So there was something that True said that I agree with. When it comes to men being vulnerable, that's something that you have to earn, right? So it just doesn't happen immediately. That's earned.
I agree.
Right.
Earned. You gotta earn to be. Wait, what? Earn to be vulnerable?
No, you see.
The woman.
A second. Listen to me.
Listening to words. Words matter. I'm listening to words.
I'm saying that what True said. What I agree with is that when it deals with a relationship, right, the woman, she has to earn for that man to be vulnerable to her, right? And when I say that, it's not being immediately, but there's different levels here.
I get you.
Right? There's different levels, because the dude is not going to open up to you like that, right? So you have to really earn his sacred trust, if you will, because again, once he opens up to you even a little bit and you violate that, that's betrayal.
It's over.
But Gary, what I'm trying to say is that men, like you said, I want you to pay attention again to words. You said sacred trust.
Right.
What I'm saying specifically is men should never give up something so sacred. Period. Not even to your woman. Don't do it. It's just better for us. I promise you.
I'm going to tell you what the men is
at the end of it. Listen. Now, what we know is that women will always respond like we're seeing now on listen, that was a feeling. And I'm not just saying like a bad way, because I recognize how women operate, and that's okay. That's okay. Right? But what we are trying to express is, please, ladies, recognize how men operate. And it's just a little bit different. You see? That's all. That's it. Everything that's going on right now with the two sisters up here is, I recognize that's like, it ain't no feelings behind it, nothing. That's what I get it. Why? Because as a man, and as men deal on logic thinking, right? We choose generally to be objective. Why? Because being objective allows us to see the whole thing in its full spectrum, right? We get the full circumference of everything that's going on around us. We don't want our view to be limited. We don't want something that most women do, which is called tunnel vision. We don't want a tunnel vision. I don't want to see life for just like this one small narrow. I don't want that. I want to be able to have a full eagle owl view. I want to be able to damn near turn my neck all the way around without breaking it. I want to see it all around me. So how do I do that? I do that by looking at everything fully for what it is. You see? And so when women would learn to just get that, that's how I protect you. Because I'm able to see things that you don't. When we go out to certain restaurants and things of that nature, and I'm saying, no, sit us over here. You're like, no, why not? No, look, hey, please, look. I need for you to right now follow my lead. Don't give me a bunch of mouth and lip all in the middle of the bar. I want us to sit right here because I examined certain things. There are certain things that I'm viewing and I see. You know what? Right now, because I see they got a little exit door right here. Let's just say something popped off. We right here. Boom, boom, boom. All right. I'm looking at this. Okay. I also see that this gives us a little more privacy. I don't want a whole bunch of people like walking past us. Right. So I'm looking at this whole thing. I have a certain vision, a trained eye. Okay. Innately, instinctively that you don't. But you don't want to take time to get that. You want to argue with me about it. So now I can't lead, I can't protect. But then what do I hear? Men don't lead, men don't protect. Get out of here with that. You don't let me do my job. Because you keep on trying to do my job. I digress, my mic is needed.
All right.
I understand. Can I chime in? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. Go.
So I wanted to chime in and try to, hopefully, if I'm digesting what Smitty is saying, he's right in this sense of, mostly women are not trained to be able to be led. But like I stated earlier, if we're talking about vulnerability, I think that's a twofold thing. Just like a man wants to be able to lead the woman, he has to earn her trust in her vulnerability, just like she has to earn ours. But what I will tell you, my brother, and this is just what I firmly believe, if a man has built
Agreed.
Okay.
So far,
Okay.
agreed.
I believe if a man builds himself correctly, I call them optimal males. A woman is gonna know more about you than what you say. She's gonna look at your life. She's gonna look at how you move. She's gonna look at how you interact. She's gonna look at the structure of your discipline.
I said that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not even to cut you off real quick, but just real quick.
Go ahead.
Grace, because I literally earlier I said to the sister up top, I said it's not about the look. Forget the look. It's about you walking in that light. It's about, do you walk it? So I'm right there with you. All I'm saying that for is to say I agree with you. I don't know if you heard that part. Maybe you came in a little bit later, but I did say that earlier. Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Forgive me. I don't think.
Judging the book.
Okay. Well, then we're in alignment then. Okay. Great.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. But I think that there's always going to be, and I think that, again, forgive me if I'm not understanding you correctly. I expect a woman to show up in my life untrained to what it is to be around a man of my caliber. She may have interacted with a man. She has not interacted with me. And every man has to train that woman in order to move the way he needs and going to get the best out of her. She may have an idea of how this works. And this is harder when you have someone who's had a destructive background or a foundation that was not built correctly, or she was not covered and protected in love. But she's still going to have to be trained. So.
Totally agree with you, True. Totally agree.
Not all the way. No, I don't totally agree. So I want to give her a pushback, slightly. No problem, brother. And respect to you. I like civil dialogue. What it is this, right? The reason why I do want my woman to be somewhat trained in what I consider to be interdependency. Okay. That's something I teach my daughter. Right now, my daughter's 15. Okay. And what I do with her, I do activities with her where it forces teamwork. Because That's how I'm subliminal, and now the things that I'm teaching her, I'm showing her how when it comes to our teamwork, I need you to just do the little stuff. I need you to just kind of do the light work. Just kind of like pick up after me, as I'm like shaving down this or whatever, just kind of like sweep this up, whatever it is. I need you to just play your part and watch how this whole thing keeps moving. Right? So when it comes to a woman being around a man of our caliber, my brother, which I'm pretty sure you are of that, I don't take from that. You do want a woman to be trained in that field to a degree. And one more time, how does a woman be trained in that field? Fathers being around. That woman growing up in a nuclear family home, her seeing firsthand what it's like for her mother and her father to work together, even if they had arguments before. And she heard times where they shut the door and da 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 da, blah, 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 whatever. But we still got Thanksgiving, we still got field trip money, we still got Christmas, we still got birthdays, the whole nine. We we don't know how, whatever. We never was with them when they was paying bills, but we know that when it was time to take a bath, we got hot water. We know when it was time to watch The Simpsons, the electricity was on. You see? So as long as the women come up around that, then when they are introduced to us, they'll know how to act accordingly. I don't want to be around a woman who has no idea why I'm making the decisions and why I'm saying certain things, and she just totally off, because you know what she's going to call that? Brother. You're a narcissist. You're controlling. You know it. Why? Because she's not trained. She doesn't understand why I'm saying what I'm saying right now.
But let me just say this quickly.
Respect. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Respect.
Nowadays, for men like us, women, their favorite word is narcissist. You see how often that word is used, right?
Yep. No. Yes. No. Narcissist and misogynist. Don't forget about misogyny.
Right.
Gotta throw misogynist in there.
Yeah, right.
I'm hip, bro. I'm hip.
Yeah. Yep. True. Yeah. Okay, so that's their favorite words for us. It's either being a narcissist or misogynistic. They like throwing that word. That's their favorite words, or their favorite go-to words that they like to use now.
Now, let's pay attention to this. That's not all women. No, it's not. It's specifically a certain group. You see, because that's, again, something I don't do. I don't put all women in a box. I wouldn't do that. Because I know that there are bitches, there are hoes, there are women, queens, all of that, right? There are levels to this, right? Okay, so I know that with what we're saying right now, that there are women out there who, do definitely fit that category. And those women who fit that category, that's where they are with it. But the women who don't, I make sure that I reserve a certain place for them. You see? And that's how we make sure that we don't get too far gone into somebody then saying, well, who hurt you? Because the way you talk and the way you come off and your energy, your vibe, your aura, whatever you want to call it, your whole spiritual everything is coming off like real angry, real disgruntled. It just seems like you can't get over something. Nah, man. Nah. That's why I know certain women are in certain categories. You see? And so what I do is I sit back and I take time and I watch you, I observe you, I listen to you, and then I go from there. I don't just judge. Can you imagine if I really was to judge women solely off all right, Grace, let's take you for example. I'm gonna use you for example, Grace. I've seen a couple of your pictures on social media, right? Imagine if I never spoke to you, never knew you or anything, right? And I just looked at some pictures and I'm like, Oh nah. Nah. She this type, she that type. Just because of a way you might have took a picture. Just because you might have been maybe at a club scene or something. I have no idea what was going on. Might have been a wedding reception for your brother or sister or something, and y'all was just out and it was a really nice spot or something. But I'm just assuming. Nah, you don't assume. Why? We already know when you assume, you then what? Make an ass of yourself. You ask questions. The wise ones ask questions. They inquire. They don't just jump off and just start thinking that they know something. They don't just go by what everybody else says. I don't care how many people say something and tell me a movie was bad. Oh man, such and such part 2 was horrible. I'm still going to watch it. Why? Just so I can make the assessment for myself. It is solely, strictly so that I can make my own decision on if the movie suck or not, suck or not. Not what everybody else tells me. Now, if I didn't watch it and see, oh, nah, I see what everybody's saying, man. Nah, man, true, man, that thing sucked, bro. That was some garbage. But there have been many times I've watched the movie, I'm like, nah, I don't know what y'all talking about, man. That thing go. I watched it 3 times. Why? Because I chose for myself to think. For me. You see? So, I'll just leave it at that. I digress. My mic is muted.
Okay, so with all of that being said, hold on. I got to get into these notes because we're already at 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Shit, damn.
Guys, I understand where True is coming from, Wiley's coming from, Smitty's coming from, and Gary's coming from. I'm not trying to change our ways, but there's a certain type of level where there are men that were not taught how to express themselves, how to communicate, how to be effective. So with that being said, it's
because men weren't around them. True. Men show men how to respond in situations.
Let me finish. So it says here, male vulnerability is the ability to be open, honest, and share their experience even when they are difficult. It is the ability to show up and be seen even when afraid. Courage does not mean that we are never afraid. On the contrary, courage means that we face our fears head on. So what does it mean when a man is being vulnerable? If a man shows vulnerability with a woman, he's comfortable with her. He's not afraid to show her some of his flaws and tell secrets to her that many people don't know. Ladies, if your guy is vulnerable to you, and this is all what I'm trying to get out here. Ladies, if a guy is vulnerable to you, it means that he's aiming for a deeper connection. He wants you to get to know him better. It's not, he wants his fears and ambitions, his inhibitions and insecurities and his needs because you've been listening. Therefore, he feels closer to you. Men need connection too. Men have feelings too. Men have emotions. And it's okay. I'm not saying you gotta cry in front of me, but it's okay to tell me how your day went and how somebody pissed you off. To keep everything bottled in and to keep that hostility, most men don't have time to go fishing, Smitty. They're too busy, and I get it. But if we're friends and we're gonna have a relationship, I'll have to be able to know what's going on with you, because being vulnerable shouldn't be considered a weakness. It's actually a strength. Male vulnerability helps men connect with me. To feel safe and to express your emotions and build closer relationships also helps men cope with stress and adversity. Again, if you're walking around holding everything in and always being angry and have this rage.
Hey, Grace, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I want to ask you a question, Grace. Like, at what point, love, did in any form of fashion it was expressed up here today that men should not communicate? We all know that communication is key. Again, no matter how
you to be vulnerable.
Hear me, Grace, hear me, love. So all I'm saying is that again, when it comes down to how men communicate, it's just different than women. What you keep trying to express is, men, listen, express yourselves how we do. And we don't. We just don't. And it's
I
like the
didn't say
day
how
that you
we
all
do.
really, the day that women really truly do get it through their minds, that we do think and operate different. It's not even like ours is better, yours is worse. Yours is better, ours is worse. It's just different.
But you guys
But
don't do
but
anything
that
sometimes.
difference, that difference combined makes a powerful dynamic.
I hear you, but it's not
When we combine,
reciprocated.
listen, it's just like, and I know this is gonna sound real silly, but I know most of us are old enough to remember Power Rangers. One of them was like a mastodon. One of them was this and that and everything else. Now, when they all combined together, right? So that's all I'm trying to, just analogy wise. So all I'm saying is that when you realize that, okay, all right, maybe you got this going on, that's cool. That's cool. That's your aspect and what you bring. But I got this right here, and this is what I bring. And as soon as you calm all of that down, just bring it down, take it down a notch, all right? And just recognize what it is that we both have to offer. You'll realize how much it is more powerful we can be. Why do you think that's why we use the term power couples? You want to know why? Because one individual is doing a part and the other individual is doing a part. What makes them a power couple is not how fancy they look. What makes them a power couple is not how many trips they take and stuff and how glamorous everything is. No, what makes them a power couple is how well they execute missions.
And I get that, but the point of this show is to show women that they need to allow their men to be men and to be able to express themselves.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. All I'm saying is that as a man who pulled up on the panel, I just want to let the women know. So once again, watch this, Grace. Once again, we don't want women solely taking information about men from women. Now let's just pay attention. What you did was, and I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying you pulled up some kind of quote or whatever it was, some kind of writing or something from a woman about men. You didn't pull something up about men. From man about men. So all I'm saying is that Grace, please pay attention. I'm going to shut up. Women refuse to listen to men about men. Women refuse. I don't know what that is. I don't know why that's such a it's like a shutdown default mechanism in the mind. Like when a man starts talking about how men are, discredit it, just throw it away. Like, no, just hear me. I pulled up to really support what you're saying. I pulled up to support it, but I pulled up to explain it in a way in which men will really get it.
Why you think
now watch this. This is all I'm gonna say. And I'm gonna shut up. I'm landing it right here. When I pulled up and I started talking about how men operate and think, regardless of whatever the ideology is, you know what happened, Grace? 2 more men popped up on the panel. Pay attention.
Well, I will say, my brother, I think that a lot of males are out here misrepresenting men. I think that you do more with the representation of who you show yourself to be, rather than
why are they misrepresenting us? Who raises them? I don't know. Well, what is their upbringing? How do they come up? So that's what we got to focus on. It's a reason why. See, the thing is, I don't focus on the problem. I focus on.
Can I finish?
Let him finish.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, that's not my argument. I think I'm intelligent enough, and everyone on this panel is intelligent enough to know where most of the problems, derive from. But I'm just speaking to the sense that as we are now in this new space moving forward, women don't listen like men. I think you made a very valid point that how we communicate is not how they communicate. But I think on the flip side, men also need to understand how women both listen as well as communicate. Women have to be handled a certain way. This is not to void that men should be men. But if you're going to be a very proactive man, somebody who's going to be successful dealing with women, I think you need to understand how they hear, also how they process. And you have to also, what I was saying earlier, I was actually waiting on the pushback. I didn't hear where we didn't agree, but what I was speaking to more from a woman being interdependent, I think is what you said. I agree with that. However, there is a different application a man has to apply when he meets that woman to be his woman and his wife, because there's an intimacy that she gets from that man, particularly, that she cannot get from her father, that she cannot get from her brother. That's a different application. So the foundation.
Yeah, but we have to recognize how that application comes about, brother. So how you apply that is simply through, listen, most of this is from upbringing, from actual experience. Point
Agreed.
blank, period. So
Agreed.
so what you're saying, I do not disagree at all. Only thing, put it like this, boom, the caveat that I add to that is, hey, we need to make sure that we need to really get nuclear families back into the fold of what it is that we advocate, what we preach about. Because I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like, I mean, like, if you go to social media, let's just be for real. It ain't nothing to see women. I mean, real deal. Like, they always in the car, got a picture. We all know the picture. Kids in the back. You know what I'm saying? They on the way to the zoo or something, which is cool, no problem. I'm not knocking that. I'm not knocking a woman like for being with her kids or nothing. But what I'm saying is that this like overwhelmingly like never is no man. When they come, you know, when it comes to their accomplishments, I've seen women who claim they got a man, they'll wind up having some kind of graduation, some kind of like whatever. They don't have no picture with their man.
Mm-mm.
They probably have him hold the phone and take the picture to make sure his ass ain't in the picture. Because I got to make sure that it's never shown that throughout this process, even though I did do this, yeah, I'm the one who's walking across this stage today, but you know what? It was a man by my side throughout this process. It's almost like the totally discredited, you know? So when we see that, we got to recognize that. So nah, it's how these women move, in which I'm seeing. That's all. And I'm talking about from like let's just call it an 80-20 factor. 80%, yeah, they move like that. Let's just say it's the 20% that don't. And I know that 20% is still definitely down for the team. And I salute those 20%. I try to pay more attention to them than the 80%. I digress. My mic is muted.
Okay, now this is coming from the mensgrouphealth.com. Men's Group Health. It says being vulnerable shouldn't be considered a weakness. It's actually a strength. Male vulnerability helps a man connect with their women. To feel safe to express their emotions and build closer relationship also helps men cope with stress and adversity. Men have trouble and struggle with vulnerability because of societal pressures of masculinity. Men are always told, man up, suck it up, hold up the callus, keep that tough guy image. Most men are told growing up that crying is not only manly, but that feeling sad is not accepted. So we're telling our little boys, like I always taught my son, Smitty, look, I need you to always be comfortable expressing yourself. As angry as you may be, you need to let it out. Just remember who the fuck you're talking to and keep it respectful, but say it, let it out. There has been times, Smitty, when he would tell me, Mom, you need to take it down a notch. And I'm not gonna get upset with him. I don't give him pushback because I taught him how to do that. There was a time when me and him got into it. And he was like, you know, Mom, I think we need to go both to our rooms, get a 24-hour cooling period time, and we'll come back and regroup tomorrow. I respected him. Why? Because that's what I taught him to be. Even if I'm his mother, he's practicing with me to be the man. He's practicing with me to stand up for himself. And I let him to a certain extent now, you know? And it also says here, because of these societal pressures and expectations, to not express many emotions, thus making men know how not to express themselves effectively. As a result, struggle in relationship and connecting with others will always be a problem. Smitty, I'm not saying I want you to cry in front of me and be weak, but what I'm saying is come connect with me. Come tell me what's going on.
I will come connect with you, Grace. What I'm saying is that the way in which I will come connect with you, the only way for you to be able to receive it, the only way for you to be able to recognize it is if you were also raised up around men. If you don't have experience knowing, yeah, I'm just speaking, to the general public, right? Right. It's an audience. We got a nice audience. So what I'm saying is to those who are listening is that how we do that is if you're not raised up around that, then you won't be able to recognize it. Grace? You're not.
And that's what I'm trying to do, Smitty, to teach the women when you allow your man the safe space to be vulnerable, it creates a bond of trust and opens to enhance the relationship.
Right.
So this is my biggest pet peeve, and this is why men don't open up. This is why men feel like you. Ladies, men don't open up and don't express themselves and don't be vulnerable because men often feel that they need to be self-reliant. Men provide for their loved ones, and it's not appropriate to express their emotions.
Are you reading something?
Yes, I write down
that last part personally, like honestly, most of what you was reading, no, definitely on point. That last part. Read that last part when you said, read that again. What did you say? Men don't show their vulnerability. Why?
Okay, men often feel that hold on, I'll read the whole thing over. Ladies, men don't open up, don't express themselves, and don't be vulnerable because men feel that they need to be self-reliant and provide for their loved ones, and it's not appropriate to express their emotions. This is why men feel the way you do. They're not going to open up.
That last part, that's all. So it's not about the feeling of, because first of all, this is why I pay attention to words. Most men don't go off what we feel. We go off what it is either that we know or what is best.
Right.
First and foremost. All that feel, no, that's a woman. Okay? Second, no, most men do not show their vulnerability for primarily fear of being overthrown.
Okay, and here's my next sentence.
Let's just say, for example, you that top dude in the hood, for example. Let's just it's a small basic level, something we all may be able to identify with. Let's just take the hood. You that kind of like top dude. A lot of people know you for being able to fight pretty good, and you the hustle man. Folks come for you for the work. A lot of people know you for having a nice car too, with the women, the whole nine. You can't show your vulnerability. Why? Because you know instantly. Because us as men, we know that there are other men. Because remember, women outnumber us naturally in life. There are always more females than males. We can even take this to the lion pride. It's always more females than male. Y'all always outnumber us. So because we know naturally, innate, our numbers are so low, it's instinctive for us to go ahead and act accordingly.
But Smitty, I'm talking about intimate relationships, not out in public. I'm talking about if you and me was a couple.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to teach women to.
Guess what? I'm telling you, me and you gonna talk. Like we really gonna communicate. We gonna talk. Yes, we're gonna do that nice long walk and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna do all of that, but there are gonna be certain processes throughout that whole ordeal that I'm going through while getting myself together. Let's just say I had a loss of a loved one or something. Right? Let's take that. I'm not going to cry about my cousin or my sister or mom or whoever. I'm not, like, to the best of my ability.
Do you think that's normal?
I'm going to keep the tears away from you. You have no idea. Why? Because my ultimate goal is to continuously protect you. How do I protect you? I know women are emotional. I can't start crying. You gonna start crying. I gotta protect you, even down to your feelings. As much as I know as a man, I don't even operate off of feelings too much. But that's my job. See, that's how deep that protection goes. And when women start to learn how men truly operate, y'all will get that more. But as long as women keep on listening to either men who weren't raised around men and or women who don't know shit about men, you'll never get it. And I'm not saying you, Grace. I'm not saying you, Love. You know, you folks. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. But just in generally speaking, just to make that clarification. You know,
if that's the case, then this argument has no point to be spoken on. Because if we're gonna lock that up, then my thing is, why make it an argument?
It's not. It's a discussion.
Well, even
it's a
then,
passionate
discussion, it doesn't really matter then.
I think there's really points missing.
It really does. It does, Wally. But no. Go ahead, brother. Let me shut up. You go ahead, bro.
I think there's points missing because I get where you're coming from, Smitty. I truly do understand where you're coming from. But I also get where Grace is coming from, particularly what I assume to be the female process. And I think we haven't used that word process. A woman is not going to judge any man that shows vulnerability from a tear of a family member passing. Not a woman that has good character, not a woman that is built correctly. Now, if a woman derives some level of seeing her man in a weak position from a loss, then that woman is destructive in nature. I think that what we're not touching on is that men who show vulnerability are not handling their business as a man, that he fumbled somewhere, that he made, erroneous decisions, whether it was financial or whether it was, sexual. That's where you start to see women weaponize that vulnerability and start to see that they lose respect for you. But I don't know any woman in good nature.
Now to the point of what you just said. Okay, touche, my brother, touche. But what I would say to that is that's why naturally through nature, like think about it truly in a animalistic way, but humanized. That's why we don't even take that chance. See, in order to preserve the legacy, there's certain things you lock down. You don't even take a chance on it. I'm not even about to take. I'm not. Think of how many. Hold on, let me just finish, Grace. Think of how many great men have fallen. True wealth, legacy, everything fallen, honestly, because of a woman. Why? Because they opened up a little bit too much. Look, the fact is, and I'm not even saying it like women are our enemies, but what I'm saying is you have to recognize why you don't put, because when you open up to them to a degree, listen, you have to understand something. You put them on the same level as you. It's also a part of maintaining. No, I'm not. See,
yeah,
you're thinking that.
It's men like
because you're thinking
y'all have feelings and emotions.
You're still trying. You're processing what me saying as a man. You're processing it as a woman.
Men dislike. Men have emotions and feelings, and it's okay. But it's men like you who take it to such the extreme.
I spoke my message. I spoke my message. It's okay, Grace.
No, I
did, and I'm still here, love. I'm still here. It's okay, love.
Disagree.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Go ahead, get in there. Hey, man, Wally for president. Why you so quiet?
Because you've been long stroking.
Nah. Hey. That's what she said last night. My man.
No.
Go ahead, Wally.
Okay, so from all this overall, because I'm about to literally forget everything y'all about to say. But going back to what you were saying about when the little boy was, if the little boy started crying, you were telling the man up and all that. I don't think so. That's the problem. The problem is the way you tell it to the boy. My thing is, see, we don't bring the process to get the boy over what he had dealt with. If he is dealing with pain that caused him to cry, you have to let him know, like, hey, look here, wipe the tears. deal with your little boo-boo, whatever it is. Now get up. It ain't that serious. So that's the problem right there. But when you tell them, hey, get up. It ain't that, man, stop all that crimes. You're a boy. Now you just breathing, you just yelling and telling him to be a soldier. That's not how it runs. You're not building a robot.
You are absolutely right. Because when my son used to come to me and cry, I used to say, are you hurt? No, mommy. Are you bleeding? No, mommy. So why are you crying? And I would let him express himself why he's crying. And I would say, you know what? That's not a reason to cry. You're going to be okay. Go pick up the mess because maybe daddy yelled at him or something. Daddy yelled at you, go pick up your mess. There's no reason to cry. I wouldn't fold into him. I remember one day when he fell really hard and hit his head on the basketball thing. I didn't run on the court like most mothers did. I let his coach deal with it because that's what the coach is for. And I didn't want to embarrass him. Oh, mommy, now when they sat him down on the bench, I snuck behind there on the bench. I brought him a Gatorade, said, you good? And he looked at me and I asked him again, you good? And he was like, yeah, mom. And I get it. But we have to allow a safe place for a man to be able to express himself, because if not, then you're going to get a lot of rage. You're going to get a lot of hostility. And if I want to feel connected to my man, I got to be able to, feel his vibes. I'm not saying cry in front of me, smash shit, but you got to be able to, because again, sometimes I forget that men have emotions and feelings because men want to walk around, oh, I'm the tough guy. I'm never going to feel this. I'm never going to. Come on, man. We're human. Even Jesus wept.
Right.
We're human.
To that point, because there's a reason
and I know you're going to protect me.
What?
Okay, I have Leanne up here. She's a new one, so I.
She bored.
The conversation is hard. I think I said that right. It's hard to take. And then she came back and said, hold on, because these comments be stuck as hell sometimes. Hands up. But let me finish this. The biggest reason that men do not become vulnerable is because y'all women fucking throw shit back in their face. That is the biggest no-no that we can do as women. This is why we have men like my friend Smitty walking around that he should never say anything or be vulnerable or show emotions. Why? Because when they do open up to us, we throw it right back in their face and make them feel this big. So why should they? So all I'm trying to say and show women that that's wrong and that's not the right thing to do. When boys mature into men, they tend to suppress their emotions more than women, which can lead them to experience symptoms of depression, aggressive behavior, rage, hostility can develop when men hide their feelings as they experience trouble regulating their emotions. You have to regulate and harmonize your emotions. And if I'm your woman, I should be the go-to person. Not for everything. There's certain things you're gonna talk to your boys about. There's certain things y'all gonna have talk in the barbershop, in the locker room. But we gotta feel connected some kind of way, because if you expect me to come and tell you everything and come to you for everything as my protector and my provider, it's gotta be reciprocated. Reciprocation is vital in a relationship, and it has to have a balance. So that's why I agree with some of the things that Smitty is saying, but I'm more towards True's side because he gets it. You have to understand how we process information too, Smitty. It's not just all about y'all all the time. It takes two to make it right.
When do we get time to finish? Can I get in here now?
Leanne said that's BS. Men feel the idea that intellect is over feelings is an issue.
I'm slightly.
Go ahead, Wally. I'm after you.
Well, look, this one I want to finish up with. The reason why I said like that for the little boy and basically bringing him to that process, because at the end of the day, even as a grown up, if you end up getting to a point where you get injured and whatnot, yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna feel like crap. You're probably gonna feel like tears. But at the end of the damn day, you still gonna get up. You ain't freaking dead. You ain't doing none of that. So it's like, what's the point? But now moving on. What? That comment, what she said? She said,
which one?
BS men feel the idea that it's intelligence over feelings is the issue. Nah.
Nah. So again,
my thing is, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, nah. What it is point blank. Period. Look, Grace. You know, I've tried my best, and again, I see, because you know, I have more aunts than uncles. I have more female cousins than males. I myself, even as a father of one, has a daughter, not a son. Okay, so I mean, women are all around my life. So I get it. You know what I mean? Like, my whole thing is, I noticed that when I talk about that scale, why it's lopsided, and not evenly balanced out, is because, and I'm going to say this, I do genuinely believe that men, most of us, majority of men, we do take time to try to figure out women. I listen to women about women. When I wanted to learn about women, you know who I talk to? My female cousins. I talk to some of my aunts. I talk to my own mom. I talk to, like, you know, the woman I'm in a relationship at the time. I would listen to her, what she has to say about female. I would listen, like, when she's on the phone talking to her girlfriend, how they talk. I would just sit back and just listen. Because I paid attention to women about women. And it's like, I can't seem to understand, like, this whole, like, just no matter what, we're just not going to listen to men speak about men. I'm just a man telling you exactly what it is, how we move, how we operate.
Not all men think like you.
No, stop. Now, look at how you said that. You want to know why you said that? I'm going to tell you right now. That's coming from a woman who has heard majority of women basically say, you know, most men don't move this way. Majority of men are like that. No. I'm trying to help you out from the horse's mouth. Most men are like me. Most men are more stand-up. Most men are thorough. Most men are robust. Most men do walk in that true masculinity with that balance of, I'm not some aggressive jerk. Okay? Most men do. But that's what we're trying to get you all to get. Stop listening to women who keep talking about they hurt moments because they refuse to talk to anybody who got on nice enough shoes or drives a nice enough car. You see what I'm saying? Because these women who are saying stuff like this, who do you think they get it from? Do you think that she got that from a man who truly is a real stature? No. Where do you think this comes from? This is coming from the lips of women who know nothing about men, who probably never had a father themselves. They may have some brothers, but they brothers grew up around their single mom, all 5 or 6 of them, right? Like, let's just be for real about it. I know it may sting a little bit, but let's talk about it in its entirety. Because I'm about trying to figure out how can we change this dynamic. I only speak what I say to try to figure out how can we fix this shit. All right? Now, I know what I'm seeing. I'm somebody that's really out there. I only been on these YouTube spaces for about 5 or 6 months. Nah, a little bit longer than that. I say about 9. I've been on, going on a year. I'm like a little under a year. I've been in the real world is my point. I really talk to people. I really have seen shit. I really go out places. I don't sit in some dark basement and just listen to people tell me shit about life. I really go out and experience it. So I'm speaking that right now. And it's like women don't want to listen to it. So it's like, what are we supposed to do? So then when dudes talk about getting passports, going overseas and everything else, I mean, I don't agree with it, but I can't blame them. at all. Because I get it. I'm sitting here and I'm saying it. I've been saying it all night. We don't think the same. We don't. We don't.
That.
Our minds don't operate and process the same.
Not every man process, and not every man is like you, Smitty.
It's like a wood chopper. It's like a wood chopper and a blender. A blender, okay. A blender blends up food. A blender will blend up some fruit and shit. But you know what? That blender is not a goddamn wood chopper. You can't stick a whole tree in that blender. It don't operate the same. It's not built the same. And you keep on trying to stick whole trees down the blender and wondering why your Dyson and shit keep on breaking and you got to order more.
Okay, can I come back in?
Yeah.
So this is what
Why leave for president? Why leave for president? Why leave for president?
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna say, right? So to the lady's question earlier, to the lady's statement earlier, right, which said that's BS, men feel the idea that it's intelligence over feelings is an issue. I'll say this, right? God said it himself, right? He says he's a jealous God. Why does he say that? Because 9 times out of 10, for us as human beings, those that are his children, what do we focus on? Who do we focus on? We don't focus on God. We focus on other people that we now consider our gods, people that we worship, people that we deem these higher orders or whatever whatnots. We look to them. We look to them every which way, shape, and form, right? Our whole lives. We don't look to him. But in reality, he feels some type of way about that. That's an emotional side. But the trigger is, here's the intelligence side. The intelligence side is, at the end of the damn day, he knows one thing. I'm internal. You ain't. So you can keep doing what you do. I'm going to keep watching. Because at the end of the damn day, I'm going to be where I'm going to be. You're going to be what you're going to be. So keep doing you. And I think that's the thing. Okay. It's the bait and switch, really.
With that being said, this information from verywellmind.com says, the way men to reduce the fear of vulnerability is to embrace your authentic self. Learn to love and accept your whole authentic self. Loving oneself is one of the toughest lessons we will ever face as men and women. Is what?
Nah. Can I say something to that? Can I say something to that? First and foremost.
I got to
Go
finish.
ahead. When you done. When you done. All right. When you done.
Okay. Learn to love and accept your whole authentic self. Loving oneself is one of the toughest lessons we will ever face. Everyone has flaws. Everyone has imperfections, embarrassing stories, and past mistakes that they wish they could forget. Men, listen to me when we are all insecure, awkward, and desperately wishing they could change. Certain things, it's human nature. The trick is to realize that everyone feels some type of way, no matter how beautiful, how perfect someone appears. We all have the same awkwardness, insecurities, and self-doubt. When your man starts to talk and what is on his mind, confess his true feelings for you, tell you he loves you, or even cries in front of you, that is him being at his most vulnerable. Ladies, fucking listen, and listen with empathy. Listen like you fucking care, because without judgment, because it means that not only he values you in your relationship, but that he is comfortable enough to be the real him in all his forms. And this was from verywell.com and mensgroup.com. I get it, Smitty. I get what you're trying to say, but everyone is not built.
Grace, can you read the first part for me again? Can you read the first part? Read the first part again. You keep on talking about a whole lot of people ain't like me. Yeah, I hear you. Read the first part again. What you just read. Read that first part again. I'll tell you when to stop. It's on this first part.
One way men reduce their fear of vulnerability is to embrace their authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
Learn to love and accept your whole authentic self. Loving oneself is one of the toughest lessons
Stop right there. Thank you. Thank you. Right there. That's the bullshit. Now just hear me out, because that's the bullshit. All right. When you understand how men get true gratification, you know why we're built so strong as we are? It's not to overpower you. No. It's not to like over muscle you and stuff. I have the strength that I have so I can go out there and take care of the yard and make sure that real strong, physical things are done. So when you're talking about what you're talking about as far as like how a man shows what? No, 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 no.
It makes me feel like you're gonna be a robot walking around the house, showing no emotion. You're gonna even
no. Listen, see, that's what I'm trying.
That's the impression that
and you're not listening. Grace, love. You have not been listening. Listen, I keep telling you, we do communicate. What I'm trying to get you, I want you to play this video back. Maybe there's certain segments, certain pieces of it. Seriously, we just operate and we communicate different. I, as a man, I recognize how you all do things. Like, for example, watch this, right? A woman, right? She may be upset at you. So, like, let's say I got this routine, me and my wife, she always cook dinner. She may try to show me she upset at me by, like, not cooking dinner, like having my clothes laid out or something. You know what I mean? Because her whole mission is to do something subliminally and like, you know what? I want you to know that.
I'm gonna tell you I'm pissed
off. Watch this. So watch this, Grace. Watch this, Grace. Just like you've been saying to me, Grace, all women ain't all women aren't you. All women aren't you, Grace. Same thing you've been saying to me.
And all men ain't you.
Like, come on. Like, peep game.
It's so much easier to talk about shit. If I'm mad at you, I'm not gonna ruin your day at work. I'm not gonna.
You still missing it. You still talking over what this man is telling you about men. You still talking over it. You're not receiving it. What you need to do right now is to be a sponge. You know what sponges do? They absorb.
Yeah, they soak up stuff, but you're not.
Yeah, I need for you to be a sponge right now. I need for you to strictly think about it. Fuck all the SpongeBob SquarePants, okay? Sponges don't talk, they don't make sounds, they don't even really move, and it's a real live living thing. But you know what they do? They absorb, they take in. I need for you to be a sponge right now, love. Just take it in. We don't think the same.
Yeah, because
I'm telling you, I'm saying. You see that? Instantly, you spit out. Instantly, you spit out. It's like Tourette's. It's okay. Listen,
no, it's not,
what I'm saying.
This has been like this all night.
Seriously, Grace. What I'm saying to you is that I'm saying we do communicate. We do communicate with you all. It's just not the same way that you communicate with us. And I'm doing everything I can. I'm giving you game. I'm letting you know how we communicate. Look, this is how, I'm letting you know now, when men do this, when we blah, 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 if a man does such and such, that's how we letting you know this, and that. And it's like, it's not even like a take-in. It's just, it's like an instant, it's like a swing shot. It's like just pull that bitch back and let it out. Like, no, just take it in. Just take it in.
Hey, have you
I'm
taken
telling you how we think. I've said it all night. I've been saying it all night. I get you. I've been saying several times. I get how women operate. I said it several times. I've been said that I've listened to women, how women operate. I said it. What are we doing? Too quick to regurgitate. Take it in, let it digest. Don't be quick to stick your fingers down your throat.
I can't be receptive to you because you're too to the extreme. I can be receptive to truth.
All right, hold on, wait. Watch this. Grace. Do me a favor, love. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell me, pinpoint where have I been extreme?
Go ahead, Gary.
No. Pinpoint where I've been extreme. Don't go off of Gary.
Again, this isn't Grace. I said go, Gary.
Gary. Grace, I was just going to say.
Now you're making me pull rank.
No, now listen. We have some comments, so go read the comments. So can you read some of the comments?
Gary, you have access to click on the comments now.
Not.
Anyway, hold on. I'll do it because Leanne been talking her shit and she been saying good. Because women are so dumb that we can't possibly understand men. And then she says it takes so much more strength to actually deal with feelings.
Women are not so dumb they can't. No, it's not that, Grace. Women just refuse.
Let me finish.
Women are more than capable. Women for the longest, women have been more. Women been more than capable of dealing with men.
Oh Lord, come on, bro. Let's not do this.
Okay, God forbid you talk over a man, Grace. I mean, I try to be respectful, but you gotta remember, Smitty, whose show is this? You gotta bow down. You gotta be respectful. Come on now. Don't make me go there with you.
We're having a discussion.
You're taking me there.
No. You ask a question, I respond to the question. You make a statement, I respond to the statement.
3 hours right now.
That's how we should go.
Let's keep going with.
Let's keep it litty out this place.
In 3.5 hours. People don't have that long. People don't have that long of an attention span. You think it's for 3
Apparently
hours
you
to
do.
listen to us be bullshitting?
Apparently you do, Grace.
Well, I want to get.
You've been here for 3 hours. So you're a prime example of somebody who has.
Yeah.
Ouch.
You are a prime example. Thank you.
To do it. Let me see. Let me finish. I've never had to do that before, but I sometimes it's necessary. Shit, this is embrace the grace. And Leanne said, "Yet, sir, you have not taken in a damn thing."
What? Oh, so what, man?
So you.
Fuck that mean, man?
So let me finish the car. I swear to God, bro. Hold on. They're not popping up for me. Hold on, guys. And yet, sir, you have not taken in a damn thing. You are not dropping pearls, sir. Go, Gary. Blah, 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 blah. Then he says, her show, sir. We got to know when to fold.
Yeah, Grace, you gotta get better in there too, bro. You gotta get better in there.
Go ahead, Gary. What it?
Nah, you're getting choppy. I'm just letting you know.
Okay, so drop a cash app then. Drop a cash app. I'll get better. It's not my internet. It's my computer. I need a new laptop. So
I got cash on me. I got cash on me. You can come get it.
Drop a cash app.
That's what you not. I got cash on me. You can come get it.
Drop the cash out. I ain't getting shit. Drop the cash.
I don't do apps. I do cash. I don't do apps. I do cash. I don't do apps. I do straight cash. I go to the ATM. I pull that bitch out the bank. That's what I do.
Drop a cash out. Then drop a cash out. Gary, what did you have to say?
Nah, I was just saying that we had some comments and stuff like that. But what it's like? We're like at 11 o'clock now. So are we going to be wrapping up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we are. So we're going to wrap up right now because we're at the 3-hour mark, and this is the longest I've ever been. And we need to express our thoughts long and short and sweet and keep it moving and know that there's other people that want to say things. So I'm going to go around the table. I'm going to leave you for last, Gary, because you're my co-host. True, are you still there? Are you still listening? You still with me, my dear?
Oh, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, now I need to ask you a question. Why is it that I'm able to be more receptive and listen to you and Gary and him that he gets on my nerves? Is it because I'm being emotional and I'm being a woman? Or is it because the way he's presenting the information is more the way I process information better? Because not every woman is the same, just like I know that every man is not the same. Can you try to answer that question for me, and then go ahead, give me your final thoughts, and let people know where we can find you.
I just think that the particular brother, as he had, some validity to some points he was trying to make,
and he
I just feel that, I just believe there wasn't enough balance to understand that we were on a panel, and the fact that, you know, you are the particular host of the show. There should have been more, in my opinion, respect for your position. So that's what I'll say to that. I just think that there's a rapport also. You know, I try my best to communicate from my standpoint, but also to leave room for an exchange. You know, I don't want to just hear myself talk. I think I do a decent job of delivering my thoughts, but I am very much more open-minded to being, my perspective being broader. So I think that just for your character and what I've learned about you, I think you're just more receptive to that. That just speaks to your development. And, but thank you for having me. You know, it's been a great show. I think the topic is awesome.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no issue. Those who listening can find me at True Table, you know, TREU, TABLE, all media outlets, my YouTube channel. And yeah, Grace, anytime you need me, I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. Wally, you still there, my dear?
Yeah, I'm still here.
You there? Okay, go ahead and give me your final thoughts and give me your final thoughts on the topic and let people know where we can find you.
My final thoughts is to this. I mean, the chances of men ever extending their vulnerability will be a long stretch. Honestly, I look at it as this. Women will give their vulnerability almost instantly because it's like they're dropping the load off of them onto someone else. Whereas for men, which basically what Truth has said earlier, there's levels, and eventually that level will be when they're morally in older age. That, as far as for what I viewed and seen in my time. In my opinion, but overall, I just don't see it in the long stance of men being any more having open access to their vulnerability. Honestly,
and where can we find you, Wally?
It'll be there. Where you can find me on the JJ Network.
Okay, Gary, go ahead and descend this plane, please.
So listen, this topic this evening, it was definitely a good topic. I think when it comes to Black men and being vulnerable, a couple of great points were made. I think with True, you know, he said something about you know, women having to earn, right? And there's levels, right? So because with Black men, like it's very sacred, right? Us opening up to a woman is very sacred. So, and if she violates that, that's like a betrayal, right? So, so she has to be one hell of a extremely special woman for him to feel that safe and comfortable to be vulnerable, right? And again, there's levels. So I think that needs to be, I think that needs to be understood. And clearly you can't do it with any type of woman. I think also what we have to look at is that, you know, we have a lot of women out there that ain't shit, and we got a lot of men out there that ain't shit. Right? So we have to also look. Right. So we also have to look at that too. And look, and something that, you know, I say every week, and I think Grace also said too, communication, right? You know, you have to have the communication, the understanding. You have to build the intimacy, right? And that takes time. And again, it goes back to a Black man getting to a point where he feels that close enough and that, if you will, safe with you, or that he could open up, right? So, you know, and I think that, and I think that I think a lot of Black women need to understand that. What happens is, or what has been happening is that women of other nationalities have been offering that to Black men, like that sort of safe space, right? The femininity, right? A Black man don't want to have to be arguing with, like, feel like he's arguing with his homeboy, or he feel like he's arguing with another dude when he needs his peace, right? and his woman is supposed to be his piece, and part of that piece is her, her femininity, right? You want to feel, comfortable in that, and that needs to happen. But a lot of these black women, they don't want to do that, or they don't feel like they need to do something like that. So you could find me on The Real Discussion every Friday night from 8 to 10 p.m. We're on Facebook Live. We're on YouTube. We're on all the streaming platforms. Follow us again on YouTube, on Boardwalk Global Media, Instagram on The Real Discussion, and Boardwalk Global Media, on Facebook, The Real Discussion, and also Boardwalk Global Media. And I have to say, Grace, I gotta let it out. See, tonight really sets the stage for our show next week, Monday, right?
Yes,
on what we're
does.
gonna talk about.
I was just thinking about that. Absolutely.
Right? No, and I'll just leave it there. Does. You could, and I'll hand it back to you.
Okay. So guys, my final thoughts, because this show was really for the ladies, to show ladies how important it is to allow a man to give him a safe space. So ladies, remember this, and remember this well. Vulnerability isn't a weakness. It is the key that unlocks the door to genuine connection and emotional intimacy with your man in your relationship. And don't forget, to all my embracers, embrace the truth and embrace your truth. So I do want to end with saying this to all my embracers. My Monday night show will be moving now to Sunday nights starting June 4th. So I will be repeating that as much as I can. So don't forget, I will be moving from Monday to Sunday nights because my work schedule has changed. So please keep embracing me, bring others to embrace, and let's embrace each other. 2, I have a show tomorrow where I will be interviewing a true alpha male, and I will be nitpicking him and asking him questions, and we were going to call, and then you best believe I'm going to watch this damn show, and we're going to compare and contrast to the interview that I'm going to interview Mr. Hink tomorrow from the basement, and we're going to see what an alpha male thinks like, which then nicely slides us into next Monday night show, where we're going to talk about the different types of alpha males and beta males, because a lot of women say they want an alpha male and want to date an alpha male, but then they end up with a whole different type of male. So we need to decipher how many different types of males. Not one male is one type. And that's all I was trying to get to Smitty. We got the Gary types, we got the True Table types, we got the Wally types, we got the Smitty types, but I'm sorry, I can't embrace the fact that every time you're not going to walk around and show me emotion. You're not going to show me this. You're not going to show me, you're going to walk around like a robot. You're not going to cry in front of me because your cousin died. I mean, come on, that's taking it to the extreme, and that's okay. I respect you, Smitty. I respect your position, but you got to respect mine too as well. So with that being said, I want to thank Gary, Smitty, True Table, Wally, and everybody in the comments. I appreciate it. This was one for the books because I got heated. Embrace got heated tonight, but that's okay because that means I got to go back like I practice what I preach. I got to go back and learn where I can do better and what I can do to change and become a better version of myself. So with that being said, guys, thank you for embracing me. Peace. Take care, guys.